Welcome, guys. This is game one between Yo and Villese, and we've got Yo in red playing as the Tatars and Villese in blue as the Ethiopians. Tinani, I've been practicing my intros, bro. I feel like I'm smurfing it, to be honest.
All right, well, not bad, dude, not bad. I've seen a lot of laming on this map, Harris. So before we, talk about some of these other things, look at this. Villese coming forward. He did this against his opponent yesterday, and he is going to take the elephant right back to his base.
Dude, I think though, like, while it looks good that he takes an elephant, I almost think, oh, he takes an. Whoa!
What?
Wow.
Why? Was there?
3 HP.
Did it start going back? Because that was weird to me that he went back to get 2 more hits.
Yeah, so what happened there is like he hit it only once. He thought he hit it twice at first. He hit it only once. Then he had to go back and get 2 more hits.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works nowadays. So, yeah, and I was just going to say, I don't even think it's worth it to lane on this map because your opponent still has 2 boars here.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the same thing yesterday, but as I was saying that, Velez stole one, and then also Jordan stole one. So I was like, what do I know? Because both of these guys are doing it, but it's especially bad now. To have that low HP scout means you can't even comfortably move around their base to see how many they have on wood or how many they have on certain resources. So that's something Yo will obviously not know at this point. And he might still choose to decide to just steal this one back if he senses the other one was stolen. But so far, he's just letting it chill out there.
That means that Yo guarantee thinks that it's not worth laming on this map because you definitely take that elephant. There's no one around. You know, you probably know you got lamed.
Yeah,
you'd have to assume. So it would seem as if Yo is very comfortable and he's just gonna take the sheep. Yeah, he's very comfortable not actually laming the elephant. He wants his full HP scout, and I definitely think that has a lot of advantages to it. Villese on 3 HP, 1 hit away from losing his scout. Really dangerous.
I think part of it too for Yo is he's Tatars, so you get 50% more food on your sheep. You know, maybe he would have considered stealing one back there if he wasn't Tatars. But I think with 2 elephants, which is 800 food, plus the extra food on the sheep, I think it kind of makes up for it, actually. I'm not going to do the math. I know our viewers are going to do the math because we're going to be bad at that. But I think it actually makes up the difference, or is at least very close to it.
It's at least enough to get started. I mean, like a lot of the part about early laming is just simply about getting a better feudal age. But if you're able to survive in feudal age, you're going to be totally fine. I think what's interesting is Villese might actually try to fast castle. Being Ethiopians and having 4 boars, I would say that's the only way I can see it being a huge difference is if he lands a fast castle. I just don't know if that's good on this map.
Yeah, I think it's going to be risky. Now, what is good for Velez here is he sees the... Okay, I thought that Yo was going to chase down the scout, and he still might, but he at least sees the gold. A big focus on this map has not really been the berries because there's berries on either side, but it's been the gold. And yeah, Yo realizes that scout is weak. Oh, man, this is going to... I don't know if he can make it back here, Hera, but this is already something Velez is regretting, I'm sure.
Dude, running through the forest is so scary. I think he should be fine, but yeah, it's just like now that Yo knows about that, you know, he knows the situation perfectly. He's obviously down an elephant, but he knows that he's going to be able to win any feudal age engagement here. I just wonder how Velez is going to play this one, actually, being down that HP, because you can't really men at arm rush. That's the worst thing to do when you don't have a scout, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can't block villagers, so...
Yeah, you can't block villagers, and also your opponent is going to be able to prep with walls because they can confidently move their scout in where they need it to be. In theory, obviously. He's going to go for the mill here. I was thinking maybe there's a world where he could have gone for the mining camp as his second building. We've seen that occasionally from some of the players who are going fast up archers. And he's got 600 food underneath his TC right now, and he's about to click up to feudal. He doesn't even need that much food for archers. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like it feels like a waste, eh? Like I just give him back the HP on my scout. It's all kind of rot, basically. Yeah, it's such an interesting thing though, because like we've talked about laming. I feel like it's been like the hot topic around tournaments for a long time. We thought about banning it, but in these days with the maps that are coming out, it almost feels like laming sometimes is strong and sometimes isn't worth it. And players need to make that distinction, I think.
Yeah, I think as long as the balance is there, right? As long as the way the map is situated, as the scout will finally go down for Velez. Oh, okay. Oh. Well,
another chase scene. Okay.
Yeah, another chase scene as we talk. I think laming is fine. That's my opinion, as long as the map isn't completely brutal and everything's spawning on the front, etc., etc. But here goes Yo. He's on the way up. It will be faster for Velez, but good job from Velez to at least get decent scouting. And he scouted where the gold was. He scouted the barracks. So that's not something I would have expected him to get away with with a scout on 3 HP.
Yeah, he definitely needs some credit there because he was really threading the needle there with what he could get away with, and it seems like he will actually get away with it. Back to the TC, you have to be a little bit careful here. Moves aside last second. Love how Villese is setting up his map actually. Left one area for the range on the front, and he's gonna be completely securing that gold, which is that's as good as it gets, really. I mean that's perfect, I would say.
Well, Yo built his barracks in the south. So now he can't really see what's going on in the north. This is what's awkward about this map. And Villese can. So Villese just passed right through his own base, is heading over to see where Yo will place his range. And I think the correct move for Yo is to make the range in the north, but he's not even taking gold here, Hera. So now I'm not even thinking... I mean, I think range opening into skirms could be an idea for Yo, but I'm not 100% on that right now.
Yeah, it's basically 50-50 between scouts and skirms based on what he wants to do, but it's going to be skirms in the end, up against Ethiopians. 2 ranges. That's interesting.
Huh.
I would not have expected that.
2 ranges. Also, walls in the south are going to protect his berries. Against range units could be a bit of a concern, of course, but I still feel like if I were to have been in Villese's shoes, I would have lost my scout already, and I'd be going blind. And the fact that he now sees the range and he knows that Yo's probably opening skirms because Yo's not on gold is just insane to me. He's operating as if he has a full HP scout right now.
Yep. And in fact, even baiting Yo in takes the spearman hit. Villese is playing so well there with that scout. And now he's going to be pushing in. He's not going to be able to accomplish too much here, but I do like the fact that he's kind of going forward just to see what's happening. Yep. Sees the double range, sees the production, and finally that scout goes down here for Yo. I can sense him getting a little agitated with that guy as time went on, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Yo, he's got the mentality to get past a lot. Not that that's the biggest thing, but after being down 3 games versus ACCM, I just kind of assumed that it wasn't Yo's day yesterday. It was just like, okay, this sucks. You know, Yo's a big name, but, you know, there's no way he's going to fight back 4 games, whatever. And that's exactly what he did, so.
Dude, as a player that kind of struggles with, like, that kind of mentality, I would say, like, I don't have the mental strength to come back in a lot of these series. Seeing that is just so, like, borderline inspirational. I don't want to get cheesy on you, but like, that's actually sick. Like, to come back 4 games. It's not a best of 5, best of 7.
Also, I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, and players might not even view it this way, but if it was like a $100,000 tournament, LAN or something, you know, then you kind of expect the most fight. But, you know, there was a $400 difference between losing that series 4-0 and coming back and winning 4 games in a row. That's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But, like, Yo still said, who cares? I'm going to go for it. And I think a lot of players could have just rolled over and just enjoyed the rest of their evening. It was like a 4-hour set because he came back. So he really had self-belief.
Yeah, I actually think Yo's the kind of guy to try the same, like just as hard if it's a ranked game, like a tournament or like a $100,000 tournament, $10,000 tournament. He's trying like just as hard to win every set.
Yep, which is great.
I think that's why he's in this position. You know, he doesn't give up no matter the circumstances or situations. But yeah, I definitely get your point there, and I love to see that fight nonetheless. Yeah,
at the same time, if ACCM's listening, we feel for you, dude. We feel for you, but obviously a lot of opportunities coming for him. So, okay, so very little investment from Villese after seeing the double range. He stayed on 1 range, and he's clearly trying to macro his way towards Castle Age here. And I think this is the correct move. If he were to overmake archers, it would be going into skirms and wouldn't find a lot of success right now. And I also think it's the correct move for Yo to stop making skirms because he's not going to break through walls with just skirmishers.
Yep. Save the resources, get the Castle Age, and then make scrims again if that's the unit you want to commit to. Definitely makes a lot of sense. I will say the one mistake from Villese that I really don't like is the fact that he got fletching. You know, at what point, Tinani, did he actually have a chance to do damage? I feel like that was definitely just a waste of resources. Better to save that, click up, and then pick up fletching afterwards. A little bit sharper there, but it's okay. Small mistake there.
Yep, and you know the timing is going to be huge on this map due to the stone positions, and or gold position, sorry. And the reason I said stone is because Villese is selling his stone, and that could be a talking point here because both golds are rangeable by enemy army, and there's a world where if Elite Skirm and Siege is there, he might want a tower later on.
I feel like selling stone has become such a big thing in the meta these days, not only on like, you know, Arabia, but also on these maps. Here we have it on Sunburn, and it just allows you to get that little edge in terms of like you know it's the difference between you attacking or you defending in a lot of cases here, and it feels like now with the second range, it's almost definitely going to be archers and mangonels from Villese here.
Yep. But I mean that time window is huge here. A crossbow and bodkin does research, or crossbow, sorry, researches faster than elite skirm, and if you can just get the siege workshop up, which hold on, Yo's gonna. Does Yo know that his opponent sold stone? Is he in Veleze's head right here?
Wait, does he have a market? He doesn't have a market, so he'd have no way to know for sure. It's definitely just a guess if that's what he thought, but it's possible.
Well, he needs his skirms there because otherwise he could lose his villagers. But I think he can complete that tower. That's actually so sick.
That's super intelligent, by the way, because I want to ask him if there's ever an interview in this case. You know, did you know that your opponent sold stone and that's why you went for that forward tower? Because usually you just counter tower and it's fine, but now Villese is pushed off gold.
Yeah, and it's just like the timing of it too. It's like, okay, he must not have stone, but he's going to be faster than me. This is as if he's listening to us. Clearly he's not. Just be clear. You know, that one person who's going to be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I heard T90 say that Yo was stream cheating during the tournament, you know? Yeah.
Oh, man, that sucks for Villese, but he does receive plus 100 food and plus 100 gold being Ethiopians, and he is going to take the other gold on the other side. So that's good job for Villese to not engage against that, I feel, and he still should be okay.
Dude, this is like a mega smart move from Mr. Yo, though. I would have never thought of that myself, and right now, it went from Villese having the map control in early Castle Age to now it's complete control for Yo, but Villese is still contesting it. He's going for a counterattack, guys. He doesn't want to give it up that easily, and Yo actually has a hole and an exposed gold mine, so this is very, very risky here.
Oh, true. Yeah, I think Yo is expecting Villese to just be sitting back, and so, oh man, this is like, I feel like what we're witnessing from Yo is what happens to me every other game. Really good play, like, oh yeah, I cast 1,000 games, I'm a beast, and then suddenly, big error, and oh man, oh jeez, this hurts.
This is going to come down to reaction. He's reacting properly now, he's pulling all the vills to the town center, he needs to get his skirms back, and you know what, this could actually be really bad for Villese if he's not careful here. Yep.
True, and there's no ballistics, right? And now Veleze's only way to escape, he needs to try and shoot through the palisade walls, but the only way to escape if he doesn't go through a new hole is back where he came from, and here comes Yo.
Breaking on the other side, he knows how dangerous this situation is. Yo is going to chase him with the skirms, and Villese has to run away here, but he's going to take some losses for sure.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for Yo, I guess, that he wasn't able to trap the entire army, but he is going to be able to track this down. He doesn't have armor at all. He doesn't even have feudal age armor on the skirms, though, so Villese could, in theory, focus this all down. And the game will continue. Pretty even one here, Hera. Obviously, Villese has to prep for what could be a siege push for Yo on the front.
I think the big thing here is that, you know, when all is said and done with this whole like crossbow counterattack, Mr. Yo has that hill in front of Veleze's base, and it feels like he's not even in a rush to push. He's even getting a market down, kind of just chilling. He wants that hill, and he wants to push at his time. Only now getting a mangonel out. Pretty cool. Yeah,
but I think if you were to talk about ideal situation from Ethiopians, it would be having killed something at this stage in early Castle Age. Fast ballistics, siege in the middle of the map. You know, this is definitely benefiting Yo more as he's even adding the second TC because he has had the stone income and whatnot. So pressure's on for Villese to do damage here.
Definitely, and the reason why Ethiopians are a little bit on a timer, not that much, but it's just that their eco bonus comes at power spikes, guys. So if they're not making use of that early Castle Age power spike, as T90 was saying, they really don't get too much in Castle Age, whereas the Tatars are definitely scaling a little bit better here in this matchup. Looks like it's going to be Mangonel crossbow versus Mangonel skirm here. Big hill, though, in the front. Yeah, and this will come down to micro, both with the skirms and the crossbows, because those crossbows could even kill the skirms, and so we have a 1-for-1, that's even. I think Yo will take that as long as he keeps this keeps the numbers close. Oh man, really risky there. He's getting a ram out, by the way. Not sure if I agree with that ram.
Don't like it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, taking out the range is fine, I guess. But I don't even think Villese was producing out of that range, and now Villese has a siege weapon in the middle of the map that you can't contest.
Yeah,
a little awkward.
Like he's getting a lot more freedom than he should have in this case. And I think Villese is going for a fast imp here. Look at his resources. If you're not adding town centers, that's the way to work. You know, that's where you want to work to.
Yeah, I guess what's weird is if he were to click up now, it'd take 3 more minutes. He's not going to click up for probably 2 to 3 more minutes max. That's a long time for Yo to work with town centers. And being Tatars,
Yeah.
he's going to have 3. He's pretty well protected here. His Ram did actually take out the range, so I guess it was good for something.
Yep, decent value there.
And we called it,
honest,
Hera,
like-
before the series. We said Yo would try and play into skirmishers and Cav a lot. We obviously haven't seen the Cav here, but we called it here. Les loves his archers.
Definitely felt like that was like part of the game plan, even from the draft, just to give away the archer civs, take the cav civs, and then kind of play the style to try to counter the archer play. And what I really like about this style from Yo is that most people would say that crossbows are the meta right now, and most games definitely tend to play out with crossbows. And Yo says that there's definitely answers, and that's what makes Age of Empires 2 such a great game in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't see... Okay, the 4th TC is a little worrying, because that would be an immediate target against a fast imp.
Yeah.
I have to have faith in Yo, though, because this is kind of along the same lines of what he started to do against ACCM. He would take control with counter units, he would boom, and then he'd have a much stronger economy in the later stages.
So I'm not sure if you agree with me, but like I would say there's 2 counters to the fast imp, as we see a big Mangonel shot there, but Yo actually kills the Mangonel. That's definitely a good trade from him. Yeah, I'm not sure if you agree with me. I think that there's 2 counters to the fast imp. There's either all-in castle age, where you're playing with a lot of military, or you kind of like get a castle up and just turtle till you're imp. Which one would you prefer in this situation?
Well, considering Yo's on stone, I think the castle is likely. What is good for Yo is if, like, Villese is only going to push in one spot. And Villese pretty clearly has to push in the north. So if Yo ever has to flee for more resources, it's not like Arabia where you've got 2 or 3 golds. Like, you can go to other areas for golds like Villese did earlier. So I think it just comes down to where's the castle going to be for Yo in the north, and how much army is Villese going to have. Yo is always going to have the opportunity to flee, but Yo needs to start taking some trades for his crossbows, ideally.
Yep. We see 1-4 on the Mangonel trades as well. That's going to be pretty fine, I guess. No one really is a big winner in that case. The composition is going to be crossbows, soon to be arbalest, and probably bombard cannons, since Villese has no way to get a castle up.
Yep.
It's not a bad composition, but I do feel like bombard cannons push slower than Trebs, and I think that's the big thing here.
I think Yo is really far away from ever imping, though. Keep in mind, he didn't research a single armor upgrade in his skirms, which is normally a must. So he would need double armor on his skirms. Then he's going to need 900 food to go in. He doesn't have the castle yet. And in a minute, Villese is maybe going to have Arbalest. So I think as there's a big shot there for Villese, I think that Villese could do this and push right up the gut with the Ethiopian Death Ball.
Yep. And we're actually, Mysterio scores a 1-for-0 trade with the Mangonel there. And gets the conversion, actually. Sick play there. Not too bad. Small wins there.
Okay, Yo might place the castle here shortly. And we're 30 seconds away from the upgrades being clicked for Villese. Let's see. Oh, is Yo going to go forward with it?
Oh, that's so risky. Oh, he wants to control the gold. But that's just making it, like, fodder for the bombard cannons almost.
Yeah, that's a very Yo castle, I would say. He likes to build forward castles on people's resources. But now he's going to see that Villese is an imp, and he's going to see the crossbow army. I think maybe you just buy some food and sell some wood here and just try and go up yourself, but it's so tricky. I've been in this spot so many times. Sometimes I just want to spam skirms and stay in castle. And then other times, as a great micro from Yo again, I choose to just idle TCs.
Yeah, I think the important thing, guys, is like don't commit to like both strategies. You can't like make army and then also save for imp. If you're saving for imp, you idle your town centers. You don't make any upgrades, and you just wait till imp because it's such a big timer on that one. And in this case, we see Yo doing just that. And you know what? It's 3 minutes, and Villese is going back with his army. I don't think he's gonna find too much damage here.
Yeah, and I mean Yo's still on stone. Also, Yo's just been really annoying. He took out more than one range. He's now taking out the siege workshop, so Villese is gonna have to make another siege workshop. And Villese is at the limit right now. And the fact that he's so fearful of one Mangonel tells the whole story. I think he really needs to be sending his army to Yo's base and looking for damage, but he's not. Yep.
And Yo's trying to expand on that left-hand side as well. Kind of just precautionary. He doesn't know that Villese is moving towards there with Arbalest, but just trying to expand a little bit here, keep his eco smooth and running. He's 2 minutes away from Imperial Age now, and Villese is only now going to be getting out a bombard cannon, so,
I like the idea of continuing with skirms at this point, but you'll have the economy to also go for light cav, and I think with the with the Tatars having silk armor, it's definitely going to be something in the back of Yo's mind. I might not come to that. It could just be full skirmisher, but having some light cav on the field would be fantastic. Yo's even just trying to ram down the TC right now. Like, there's been no resistance there for Villese. It's insane.
Like, we were questioning it when it came out. It got so much value.
Yeah, right?
A workshop, a barracks, an archer range, and now, like, literally pushing it onto TC. But, of course, it's dealt with now. Villese had enough of that one. And Villese is trying to find some damage on the top side with the Arbalest. But where do you even go? You're looking at a TC no matter where you turn.
Yeah. But I would have preferred, like, if he had his Mangonel attacking a town center with the Arbs over the last 2 minutes, he'd be close to taking one out at this point. So coming home, I think, was just out of just the anxiety of the situation there for Villese. And I just keep looking back at Villese's eco. Yes, he does have a bomber cannon, but his eco looks so fragile. It's like, I know he's an imp and Yo's in castle, but it feels like it's the other way around with how bad the economies are. Yeah,
and it feels like that forward castle did way more psychological pressure than it probably should have.
Yeah.
Like, Villese really respected it. As you said, going back with the army kind of bought Yo some time. Finally, we see him breaking it on the front here. Yo is massing skirmishes from those two ranges, ballistics coming in, and he has enough for a castle. Where's it going to be placed? On the bottom. Interesting.
Yeah, that's such a Yo castle.
Yep.
He's just, let me control another stone, let me control another resource. He's actually repairing his other castle right now. And here comes the army for Villese. Again, could this have been in here faster? That's the question we asked. Very similar to earlier where he's trapped, but Arbs can take out the Mangonel if Villese is reacting. And a big moment for Yo. Oh my god.
Ooh,
Big shots.
Yeah, he killed the Mangonel as well, and the scrims are going to clean house here. He does have ballistics. Villese has no place to run. That is a big cleanup for Yo.
Yep.
Damn.
Now, what Villese does have is he has the bomber cannons, and Tatars don't get that. So this is... There's still some potential, but Yo's going to get his castle up on the stone. Villese is going to possibly lose a lot of villagers there, and he does react nicely. Props to him. Yo just has to survive this next wave, and he's going to take game 1.
Yeah, so the big thing here is that, like, what I will say for Villese, guys, is that bomber cannons snowball very hard. Like, if you have 5 bomber cannons, oftentimes you're just killing building after building, and they don't take as much time to unpack and repack like Trebs. They're a lot more efficient at pushing forward. So that's like his last chance here to kind of create a snowball and continue pushing forward. And it's up to Yo to kind of slow down the pace and just wait till his economy just takes the better of Villese.
Yeah, and I mean, Yo is going to make a Treb on the other side, which I like. Just be as frustrating as possible. But those skirms, man, I mean, even though they did just get some big pickoffs, with 4 bomber cannons, he could lose them all in one shot. So he's going to use his experience here. And I think half the time he's not even going to be able to attack the Arbs, but he's just going to make the bomber cannon stop and fire. Like, here I am, here I'm not, here I am, constantly.
That's all it is, just like buying that time. And Yo is taking a Treb on the top. Dude, this is crazy. Like, he's literally just trying to attack, bro. What?
The way Yo sees the game is just so amazing. I love it.
Dude, like, no one would think to do that. And, like, all of a sudden, you might even think, like, oh, big shot with the bomber cannons. You might think that Treb is going to be, you know, a waste because it's going to go down. But that's buying time.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
Time.
But I'm a little concerned right now for Yo because I'm seeing the first armor upgrade come in. He hasn't researched silk armor. He doesn't have a lot of stables. So if he wants to go light cav, it's going to take some time here. And the 31 on food, a lot of that is right behind Villese's push. So, I mean, Yo could still lose this game. Villese has a slight chance still.
Yep. Definitely agree. And like I said, it's all about that snowball. So Yo is buying some time in the top, but Villese is not really biting as hard nowadays. He's kind of just giving up that side in terms of economy. He's moving a lot of his army forward. Villese is adding his first town center since his actually original one went down. I just feel like Yo is making it way too open of a game. Like, he's attacking from multiple angles now, which is really interesting.
Yeah, like the multiple angle thing has obviously led to some success, but it also has made it more difficult for him to defend.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I think like something you would have done, Hera, is maybe just outposts in the south, and you would have focused on like 20 more farms at home, and then like prep the stables. You know?
Yeah.
And whereas Yo is like
big push. Yeah.
Yo is like, let's drop castles all over the map, which is gonna lead to more success in the long term, but obviously could lead to some problems at this stage.
Yeah, and it really just depends on how well he's multitasking now. Because
the Keshiks though, Hera, the Keshiks are sniping bomber cannons.
Yeah, there's no Arbalest back home, and it's just 3-4 Keshiks. But look at that, one cannon goes down. The second one's about to go down. Other one runs to the TC though. Wow. Yeah, that's a really smart play there.
Yeah, that with 2, maybe 3 cannons, plus the Treb still firing. And I guess you could make arguments that Velez's push is more awkward for him because he can't have all of his cannons there now. And his micro is going to be more awkward for him. But, man, he's killing a lot of villagers here.
Yep. A lot of those going down. That castle will go up, guys, but I don't know if it's worth it. There's like 20 vills went down there for Yo. He's still up 30 odd vills here, but he is still under pressure from the bombard cannons.
Yeah, and the Keshiks are there. There's like random skirmishers. The only TC Velez has could go down to the Treb, which is now being attacked by villagers. And I guess the Treb will go down. This is crazy.
Yeah. This is just madness. Like, if you're just tuning in, you're probably like, what the hell is going on? What even happened? Where did the players even spawn on this map? But it turns out Mr. Yo made it crazy enough to secure game 1. Really well played there with the all-in castle into Imperial Lich play. I think was really nice.
Honestly, the play of the game for me, and it wasn't like really on paper the play of the game, but to me is the most impressive, was a tower from Yo.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He didn't, like you said, if you had a market, you could check the market prices and you would see the price of selling stone had changed. So you would know. But he did not confirm that, and yet it was just perfect. And it even kind of led to him trapping an army, and Mr. Yo's looking good. He did have a really weak start against ACCM in his semifinal. He went down 3 games for those that missed it, responded with 4 victories to win 4-3, and I think that was the highest level reverse sweep I'd ever seen in the best of 7, but he didn't start off slow here. GG.
Yeah, takes game 1 there, and that's just massive for the confidence, guys, because, you know, game 1 is a set map. It's neither player's home map, so taking those games is going to do you wonders for the series. I believe there's 3 set maps and then 3 home maps for either player, by the way, in this best of 9 series. So, yeah, taking game 1, putting Yo in a good spot, but there's plenty of time for a comeback. It's not over, not even close to being over. Just a nice little step in the door, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I mean, 1 victory feels like nothing in a best of 9 when you've got to get 5. So, GG. I think that is how we're going to see a lot of these games play out, though. I think Velez is going to have potentially more success with the faster archer civs. He's still got Britons out there, Vietnamese, Saracens. These are all civs that might play similarly on the upcoming maps. Yeah, just speeding up here. But this is big Nomad. Now, the way it was structured was Yo gets to pick his map for game number 2. It's not loser gets to pick.
Oh.
So Velez will get to pick next, regardless of what happens here. And so Yo goes directly to Nomad. We have 2 Nomad powerhouses. We got the Spanish for Yo, who build faster. That's one of the big reasons they're strong. Yo will have his TC up quickly. And then we have the Koreans for Velez.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, guys, Spanish for Yo, that is his pick on Nomad. Like, yeah. I have to talk about this. It's literally his favorite pick on Nomad in a tournament where he gets to pick his civ. So the fact that he has it now, Velez picked it for him, I can imagine him very comfortable in this game too here. But Koreans, I don't know. What do you think, T9? Like, is this a war wagon angle, skirms to defend the conks? I'm not really sure how you play this one out with Koreans.
Well, obviously had a lot of experience covering Nomad and Wandering Warriors Cup a few months back.
True.
And we saw this civ matchup at times. I think the big deal is the Spanish player going to have safe fish? And so when I look at the dock positions, obviously it depends on how players play the game, but I think that could actually be really good for Velez. Because when we think Spanish, we think faster start, into a fast castle, into conquistadors. But if you lose all your fish early, you're not going to have the food to either A, go fast castle, or B, make conquistadors. So I think the dock position is huge here for the Finnish player.
Yeah, and a big thing right now is that Yo doesn't know where Velez's dock is, and he doesn't really have a good way to scout where it is, except if he uses a fishing ship. So I would say if Yo at some point wants to get ahead of the game in terms of knowledge, he needs to scout with a fishing ship.
Yeah.
It's just not the most natural thing to do, and I'd be curious to see if he is going to go for that one.
Okay, so along those lines, this is actually insane. So you have, look at Yo's point of view real quick, and he's scouting with sheep. This is standard stuff. Velez is going to try and scout the shoreline to find the dock for Yo. Look at his sheep scouting, and tell me if he missed the dock for Yo.
Oh my!
I've never seen anything like this, dude. Because clearly he scouted that shoreline before the house was there, which means I guess the dock was being built, or maybe the villager was like somewhere else. We'll have to rewind later, but Velez is scouting the entire shoreline, and he might never see a dock.
And the thing is, like, he has to know that there is a dock, right?
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
knows there's a dock, but he's gonna second guess himself. Like he might think he missed it at any point of his scouting. He's not gonna really
Yep.
realize it's right at the start, right? So it's gonna be interesting. He is gonna make that loop around, so he might eventually get there. But I would just say like this is super annoying for Villese to do, like while trying to micro boars, trying to micro his fish, to also scout with a sheep. Respect, like that's really good, honestly.
Yeah, this is I think Dark Age on Nomad is one of the hardest Dark Ages in the game. Because there's so many, I mean, you don't even know where your boars are at times, right? So you got to find
Yeah.
that stuff, and then you have to prioritize thinking about your strat. If there is a positive here for Velez, I think when in doubt, you always go water against Spanish anyways. So he'll most likely be going faster feudal age to go for water, and worst case, send a fire galley one direction and another fire galley the other way. And so with that, he should probably find that dock.
Yeah, and there is incentive to dock in the same spot for Velez because he's on like the big lake. He's not going to randomly switch his dock to another point of the map, so he's going to be close to Yo's fish, regardless whether he scouts it or not. That's a really good point, actually. And it's going to come down to whether Yo actually decides to fight water or chooses to completely give it up and then continue with his plan, which is what most Spanish players would like to do on this map, and go Conquistadors in the Castle Age. Conquistador Mangonel is just so deadly, and they are quite close to each other actually on this situation.
I think Yo knows where the TC is for Velez. If you look back at his scouting, he definitely lost a sheep next to Velez's town center. So Velez he's got a few more now, but he's been scouting mainly the shoreline. And that's still so funny to me that he scouted, 80% of the shoreline and doesn't see the dock. So, but yeah, he might actually end up finding the TC. And I think that's really important for Velez here because, again, he's going to go water, but he might have to prioritize land a bit more if he knows Yo is this close.
Yeah, I think the good part is he has that stone so close to his town center, and so he literally has the choice to go wagons or not. But I can't sit here and tell you if it's a good choice or not. I'm actually not sure myself. So it's going to be up to Velez whether he thinks that this is necessary. He also has the option of guard tower defense, but I think that's kind of fallen out of favor recently in the meta. Guard towers.
Yeah, I mean, it does come in, the guard tower defense does come in for free. So I think with Koreans, it's definitely something that comes to mind. But you haven't seen Tato go in guard tower defense with other civs as much these days. The pressure's coming in a lot faster for sure.
And I think like the whole like stationary defense, like people just got so good. I always talk about this, man. The level it's just been raised so high that these things just don't work as they used to. People really punish the smallest of mistakes. If you're sitting back with towers, you're gonna get punished on like any opening you give. So it just feels like something that players are just so good against at this point. I think that's the third board that comes in for Velez. He is completely chilling here. But Yo, fast at a feudal.
Yeah, it's always interesting when someone brings in a boar right before they have to click feudal and they want to go water. Because normally you want as much on wood and you want as much on gold as possible here. And then you can make more on the water. So for Yo, he's got 6 fishing ships. Looks like he will go water. So this is really good for Yo. He'll be faster.
Wow.
And Yo doesn't have as much on food because... at least underneath the TC, and he's going to prioritize the wood and gold just a little bit more.
And I'm almost sure Yo is doing this kind of grush because he sees Velez's dock so close. Like this is almost 100% because of that. Because I've seen Yo just go straight for the Conquistadors on this map plenty of times. So he's adapting really nicely, and it's just beautiful to see there. Velez is looking for a second dock as well. I believe that villager wants to do it. The sheep finally, man.
Well, hold on. It might be the pathing. Did he notice it? Yeah, he noticed it. Okay, so that's the first time he's found where Yo is docked. And so that is a dock that he did not want to place, I guarantee you. That is kind of in the bay. And this is good for Yo. I mean, even if it's 50-50 when it comes to the fish for a couple minutes, that's so much more food income that he could, in theory, bring in.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is a situation that luck played a big factor, and luck actually favored Yo quite heavily here. And he is also naturally up to feudal age faster. Interesting to see him get town watch. Would not have expected that, but I think he just wants to get ahead of the game in terms of the outposts on the map and the vision, which is not a bad choice. And it's going to be a grush war for both players.
Yeah, you got a villager for Velez. Their Korean villagers are kind of like walking outposts because they have so much vision. So he's walking around here, and he has confirmed as well that Yo is there. So we might see some land shenanigans. Both players going fires, but honestly, they both might struggle for fish if they continue on water because they're kind of sharing their positions right now.
Yeah, it's so funny because like Yo is kind of like stealing the fish from Velez because he's got nowhere to go really for fish. So he's he's taking the fish that's close to Velez first, and then he's gonna go take the one that's further away. But it's gonna be a pretty even fight here. It's gonna come down to repairs and kind of backing up the low HPs here.
Oh, Yo using the fishing ship to
Love
block
it.
there. Look at that. That's smart thinking, but the villager's there for Velez. I think this will be better for Velez. He's got 3 docks, but intelligent stuff there from Yo.
He repaired the wrong one and lost a free fire galley there.
Rip.
Wow, I mean, he did trade for a fishing boat, but that's a big mistake, man. That's something like when you're so close, you can't make those mistakes, man.
Yeah, and for Yo, he just didn't want to instantly lose his fish, right? So he could be happy with this. He's not investing as much into water. It does feel like, in theory, Yo should eventually lose water because of less investment, but that's off to a good start there for him. And he could maybe get another one. Velez will get the repair in just in time, though. It's super close.
And I believe, I'm not sure what the math is, but I believe one villager is just enough to keep it afloat when it's dying to 1 galley. So definitely interesting there. And Velez should stabilize. He's on 3 docks, guys, so he should be winning the water eventually here. And like T90 was saying, it's just a matter of buying time for Yo until he can get the castle age here.
Also, you've got villager on the most northern dock for Velez, so he can repair there. And he also has a villager on the shorefish on the southernmost dock, so he seems to have more repair villagers in the mix. But the micro from both players has been pretty good, but I think this is where Velez starts to snowball it. I don't see a demo on the way for Yo, and he's actually housed, so yeah, this is really hurting him at the moment.
Rough, yeah. Really, really strong comeback there from Velez on the water. Slipped up early, but picked it up and is now taking much better trades. And it's just a situation where Yo's probably going to give it up. He's making 1 more round of units. I almost think that's probably a mistake. Just give it up. I think it's probably the right call here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's tricky. I think like there's a potential maybe for 1 big demo. He's got it on the way. He could potentially kill 2 ships because of this demo, so gets the shot, kills 1. But at the very least, Velez is fishing. You know, Velez is actually fishing. He's got the better spot there. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see Yo consider maybe even buying some food here, because I'm concerned for him. He only has 7 on food. He's now getting his wood and his farm upgrade, so he's committed to fuel age for a long time here.
That's really rough. The farm upgrade just feels like it's gonna kick in way too slow.
Yep.
And I see a barracks coming down for Velez, so he's looking to put some pressure, probably with a range now. The problem is, you know, Yo has such good vision that I don't think archers are going to be the most impactful, but it's definitely something to get some pressure on the land for sure.
I really like the idea of forcing someone who's going to go fast castle unique unit into towers, because the more towers they build, the further away they are from being able to build their castle. I mean, we're assuming that Yo's going to do that. It doesn't even look like that's possible.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yo just queued up a galley, by the way, with the demo. So Yo is struggling here, man. I think being this close to Velez on water has really hurt him.
I actually think like he doesn't really know what to do, and the problem is we haven't really talked about it much, but Koreans, for those who don't know, get a discount on their ships in terms of the wood costs. So, you know, Velez just likes to just play here. He just likes to play into Yo and water as much as possible, and this is totally fine. And Yo is kind of playing into it, which I don't really understand why he's still committing there.
I think the problem is it's like sometimes you're too far gone, right? Like we talked about in the previous game with do you go all in castle age or do you build a castle and go imp? It's like you got to commit hard, right? Because if you try and do 50-50, you're in trouble. And I think Yo committed hard, and he's getting outclassed here. And this could be a fast one. Velez should click up shortly, and he also has the range to make archers. And I mean, Yo's never getting castle age unless he uses the market, and even then, how does he stop the archers?
I'm just shocked he went for like horse collar. You almost never see that on Nomad to just randomly go horse collar and then set up the farms. This is something that it's such a slow like food income, and those farms are useless when castle age comes in if there's any kind of pressure, because he's gonna have to abandon those farms. So it's a slow food income that's gonna be in a risky position very soon. And Velez up to castle age here with gold mining upgrade. Great position for him, man. Yep,
7-1 eco KD. I know that number brings back some painful memories for some people listening. But you got the market there for Yo, and he's gonna buy some food, presumably, but he's not even on stone, Hera. So you'd be talking about maybe knights, and that's going to take a bit of time here. I think it's important for Velez to use his advantages on land. If he does that in early castle age, he's going to be in a really good spot.
Yeah, and he's actually going to stone now. I mean, I think stone for a forward castle just sounds like pretty oppressive. Market did come down for Mr. Yo, and he's gonna go to stone as well. So it's like his plan was conks the whole time, but it's just so delayed now, basically.
Yep.
That's all we're seeing.
Yeah, that's we've seen conks dominate with Spanish so many times, and then it's almost like there's no in between.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you never see a game where it's like, oh, okay, they didn't get to conks, they're fine. It's like, no, not really.
Yeah.
This takes me
They don't
back
get
to
the
like
conks, they're
the
dead.
Vivi days, bro, when he'd be like picking Spanish all the time. You're like, oh god, not another one of these games.
It's crazy, yeah. And he used to like his whole game plan is to set up conks. Like he'll tower rush, men at arms, anything it takes just to set up those conks behind it, and it's just that powerful of a unit here. We are seeing Yo wall up the map, so he's still trying this one. He still wants to give it his best. It is a tournament game, grand finals at that.
Yeah, I
Buy
mean,
some time, but yeah.
what do you think about? Well, I guess Villese is pretty close to getting a castle. I was just gonna say, what do you think about a guard tower siege push right in front of that town center? That would look really strong.
I think guard tower is a little late for that. I think to go guard tower, you probably have to tower and feudal age, and then it becomes guard tower. So it would have been an interesting choice, especially when we saw the farms come down. I wouldn't have minded it, but at this point, probably just siege castle, and Villese is completely chilling. Up 11 workers now because he has that water completely won at this point.
Yeah, there's no like variation. There's not a ton of variation to this version of Nomad. There's no like middle pond. There's no little inlets. It's it's pretty safe. You know Spanish are going to be going water. You got to beat him on water. Villese was right next door to him, both on land and on water. And it feels like even if Yo gets a castle up, Villese is going to have one too. And I hope he just places it forward here. I would not suggest placing it defensive. You have the position, take it, Villese.
Yeah, you definitely just go forward, especially when you see your opponent still feudal age. I would have even suggested that he sends the villages before he gets the stone to be ready to just drop it forward.
Yeah.
Now it's a little late. He's still going to commit to go forward, though. He's sending 6 villagers there now. It does have the Magnet on the way. So Siege Workshop was forward for Yo, though. That's interesting. Trying to contest the position a little bit.
I mean, I guess with good micro, there's potential for Yo to deny this. And then drop his own.
Oh, God.
There is potential. But it's going to be tough.
There's a chance. Yeah, now I think it's probably done. I think you have to... Oh no, he's committing to it. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's Spanish builders, man. There goes the shot for Yo. Obviously, Villese is going to see what's going on here.
Yo dodges?
This is no joke, man. Yo could complete his castle and then deny Villese's castle. Villese with the misfire. Twice he misfired here, so he hasn't hit the villagers.
One shot connects there. Mr. Yo dodges out on that one. Shoots the magnet out.
No way.
Gets it.
No way, dude. No way. Can he repair his? No way. Okay,
one for two, and he wins the castle war.
What? And now Villese doesn't have the stone for a castle. Now, he should buy one or just wait a little bit and place it defensive. But Yo has just been given a slight opportunity back into this game.
Dude, and he's still on stone, so it does feel like, okay, he's adding a town center at home. He wants to kind of play the long game here.
Yeah.
He's taking this as a win to kind of get into Villese's head, play the long game with the eco, and try to find a way back into the mid game here. Definitely do not mind that situation. Not making a single conk, though. Very interesting.
Yeah, and what about Villese in the north there, Hera? He's about to transport 3 crossbows over.
Oh, my God.
I think you're spot on. I think Yo's just trying to fake him out. Yo doesn't actually have the food economy to make conks anyway, so he's just trying to catch up on land. And these 3 crossbows are going to be devastating to Yo.
Yeah, I think, by the way, it's a small thing, man, but, like, if you're doing this, it has to be 4 crossbows so you can 2-shot villagers. Like, it just has to be.
I mean, it's 3 is still fine.
Yeah, I know, but, like, it is the difference between, like, getting 1 or 2 more kills.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it ends up mattering. But, he does get 1. He's forcing a lot of idle time from Yo at the very least here, which is not too bad.
Yeah, and you can see it in the score. You can see it in capture age. Losing your fish is just... It's so bad. And it's especially bad when you're trying to make a unit that costs food like Conquistador. For Villese, he's done a lot of redocking, which is something that a lot of mid to lower level players can learn from. He's docked in the far south there, so he's more efficient fish. And he's expanding to 2nd and 3rd town center right now. So even though Yo's on 2 TCs, it just really feels like Yo's going to be behind unless Villese makes a couple more mistakes.
Yep. Yeah, I think that Yo is on the perfect composition to force those mistakes with Magels and Conks you know, eventually he'll get to that composition, and that's probably the only thing that can get him back in the game is some big shots and then, you know, some momentum. But right now he is just chasing the crossbows in his base, and he will deal with them.
Yeah, I think the risk here would be if there was 5 or 6 conks with a couple mangonels and then a forward castle in Villes's face, and then Villese starts to fall behind. But Villese is even stonewalling here. Grand final, stonewalling, still has the stone for a castle as well, so he could fortify his base up and he should have no problem.
Yeah. And no shame to stonewall. It's a grand final. You just take it. Like there's no point of taking risks at this point.
Yeah.
Like this is really smart. I love it.
Yeah, and are you implying that there's shame in stonewalling in ranked games here, Hera?
I think there's a lot of shame of stonewalling in ranked games, personally.
Oh yeah, of course.
Shame.
Mr. Hussar doesn't want to be stonewalled out. Oh yeah, guys, that's cheating. You can't just like wall out my favorite unit.
Exactly, man. Even Halberdiers is cheating, but I'm not getting there.
Okay,
Even Halberdiers, it's on the fence of shame. But Stonewall's definitely, that's past it for me.
Well, I haven't quite gone Stark level, but
yeah,
I have been stonewalling a little more. You know, if I'm gonna get raided, because I suck with archer civs, right? So I'm just gonna get raided at both corners of my base if I ever go archers up the middle. So I'm like, screw it, let's just stonewall. And so I've done it more than I ever have, but that's like 2 times a month. I don't know if that's a lot.
You have like a quota. You like mark it down on the calendar when you stonewall.
Yeah, it's like
not bad.
It's like you have those signs in the warehouse. It's like it's been this many days since there's been an incident. It's like it's been this many days since I stonewalled in this town.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll give you an excuse because you have been making some progress with the rating. I've been seeing the tweets, man. Not too bad there. Good job on the progress there. I love it.
I'll take it. Oh god, Yo into the castle.
Yeah, he's just kind of running around with those conks. There's a couple wagons now to chase them. And guys, wagons die to conks on low numbers, but when they get ballistics, they can be kind of annoying to deal with here.
I feel like if Yo was on 3 town centers this whole time, I would have liked his position a lot more because he does have the conk factor. But I love the guard tower from Villese. That might be denied if Yo would need another miracle micro moment here, but now he's going to lose his mangonel, and that's an amazing position.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's actually Villese with the push and not Yo who's like getting the momentum. So yeah, you just feel like you're behind on water eco, land eco, and you're defending a push. It almost feels impossible to come back now for Yo. He's getting bloodlines, trying his best, of course, with the conquistadors. Wagons are big though.
Yeah, and the wagons will benefit from ballistics. And I'd love to see Villese consider maybe a forward castle where that guard tower is, because there's no real way for Yo to stop that now that the guard tower's up. Yo's a fighter, man. He's not going to quit for a while here. But I think it's like when he starts to lose TCs and then another castle comes up, I don't know what his win condition is at that point.
Opinion about dragging on games and when it comes to like big tournament games, like do you think it's a factor of like try and tire your opponent out? Is it just trying to make your opponent work for it? What's the take there?
I mean, in my case, I don't pay attention to score as much when I'm in a tournament game.
Okay.
Like I just don't look at that as much because I'm so much more focused, like, and that can lead to some not focusing on other things too. Like, do I have 175 villagers, which happened in Wandering Warriors Cup? I just didn't realize. So I think you guys are somewhat human at least, and I imagine that's part of it too. And also maybe Yo realizes that water influences score a lot, and there's a lot of leftover navy for Villese. So a lot of that score could be seen as kind of inflated in his mind.
Yeah, and I think that the problem with it is the worst feeling. I think is like tapping out of a game and then you realize, man, I could have actually won that. So
Yeah.
That's for me the big feeling that I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to ever tap out and then feel like, man, what would have happened if this or that. So just staying in it till the last minute feels like a reasonable thing for me. Guard Tower Rush continues to creep forward here, trying to take that hill. Good mango micro there.
Ooh, that'll be a decent shot. But yeah, I mean, there's still towers, there's still wagons, and there could be a castle right beneath this. Yeah, and it's not like this is a best of 9 grand final. It's not like these guys are like, hey, we got to hurry up. In 2 hours, I got to be somewhere. Like, this is the only thing on their agenda for the day. So they should play it out if they think they've got even a small chance here.
Yeah, 100%. The gamers, bro, they got no real life. You heard it here first.
That's not what I said, okay? That's not what I said.
I'll say it about me any day, man. I haven't left my
go.
basement in a few weeks. No worries here, no worries. I think it is pride, man. It's like for me, it's like, you know, how dedicated I am. It's good, man. It's good.
Hey, you could call it dedicated, I guess.
Definitely.
Hey,
Positive
can you
spin on that
pronounce
one.
the unique tech that Villese is researching right now for me?
Yipsong.
Okay.
We're gonna commit to that one.
I
yeah.
think that's around how I would say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ram, Bonk for Yo, and he's dropping a castle here. I mean, that castle will clear up the guard towers, and it will push back all the wagons. So he has that, but then again, Villese is on the way to the Imperial Age now.
Yeah, and that tech, for those who don't know, it gives guard towers an extra 2 range. It used to be a bonus for the Koreans, but they kind of shifted it back to unique tech in Castle Age. So those guard towers are actually 8+4, super annoying 12 range guard towers. But yeah, I don't think it's really going to matter whether Yo can stabilize now, because Imperial Age is the point in the game where castles stop mattering once the siege comes out. Trebs are huge, and we do have that at least one castle from Villese going to Imperial Age here.
I mean, we're seeing the fight from Yo that he had in him to come back 4-3 in that semifinal. Like so many players would have tapped out in this game already. So many players would have they wouldn't have been able to play their best to win 4 straight in that series. And this is the type of player Yo has always been. He's always had that grit. He always believes in himself. And he might think he's got a 0.001% chance right now, but that's still enough for him. That's still enough for him. Still a chance.
I think in his mind, he sees that he's got like 2 castles. He's like, man, if I can just stabilize, you know, I have conk production. But the situation is actually quite dire. We'll see what happens in a minute when Villese does get to Imperial Age. What I want to see from Villese now, just to kind of secure the game, is him to expand onto these other resources. We see him, you know, expanding in his base, but just kind of go to the top there, take that golden stone that you might not be able to take later. That's just one way to secure the game, just in case. I think it's really good to get into the habit of doing that kind of safe when you're in the lead moves.
Yeah, I feel like an outpost or 2 would be helpful as well.
Yeah.
There we got Inquisition here. So Yo's going to try and go for monks now. Oh, man. I mean, I love to see it. But feels like this was needed a while ago. And I think there's actually a good chance here when he sees Imp that he might end up tapping out.
Yeah. If he doesn't resign just about now, you think maybe he should tire Villese out. But yeah, there it is. The GG is called 1-1 in the series there. Villese takes a really nice win on Nomad versus Mr. Yo, which was Yo's home map.
Well, you know, Nomad has RNG factors, has luck factor, and I think Villese lucked out, docking right next to Yo. If Yo would have gone for water, which I think is an approach he can justify, and his fish were somewhere more secure, or somewhere he could fish more freely as they're fighting, Yo could have maybe transitioned to the Conquistadors a lot faster. Full credit to Villese, though. When he realized the situation, he went 3 docks, and something we didn't touch on as much, but he was milling the berries, milling the deer. He was transitioning his economy off of just the fish as well. So he did a good job, and series is tied up.
Yeah. Really, really solid play overall. I feel like he didn't miss a beat on the strategy aspect of things. And it's going to be going into game 3 now. It's going to be Villese's home map. And we're right back to basically even game. And it's just a best of 7 from here, basically. But both players kind of went through a couple games. That's how you probably should think of it as a player. That it's right back to tie it up. And game 3 is around the corner now.
Yeah, and what you're able to do now, if you're Villese, you actually pick the next map, the way this is structured. So I think Yo got to pick that map, even though he won game 1. Villese gets to pick the next map. And then I think game 4 and 5 are set. And then the rest of the maps on your screen are home maps, and that's going to be based on the scores and whatnot. So just a little different. It's not loser picking home map for these games anyways.
Let's hop into the game and take a look at it. For the record, though, Bay and Cup are actually my favorite maps. Just that, now that we're on the topic, when it comes to hybrid maps.
You didn't have to say that. I didn't feel bad. It's cool.
Well, listen, it's not even just because you felt bad. It's just because I always win on those maps, so it's like I feel good about
true.
it now.
You do.
You know?
You're not wrong there. And also some like electric wins as well. So, well, we're talking water, and Villese has Italians, which I think is one of, if not the best civilizations for water maps, like straight up water maps. And then also you could consider them one of the best for hybrid if you can consider that to be hybrid. Sicilians for Yo, I think they do have a decent tech tree when it comes to water. And then they've got some weird transport bonus, which we probably won't see. But yeah, long story short, Villese, I think, has the civ advantage going into this one.
Do the Sicilians have like that like a free transport when they make a dock or something?
They did, and now I think it's their transport is. Wait,
Tanky or something.
it used to be a transport appears from their dock, and they changed it so many times. I don't know if it's a free transport, but you have to create it, or if it's like a discount on transports. I would have to check.
I'm not even sure what's going on with the Sicilian transport these days. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know here, guys. But yeah. Anyways, bottom line is Sicilians will be weaker on the water, as T9 was saying, compared to the Italians. But on this map, as you can see from the sides, it's really hard to wall like the entire side. You could wall one side pretty comfortably, but oftentimes it's going to be hard to wall both sides. So land pressure is definitely on the cards here for Mr. Yo if he feels like he doesn't want to straight up rush versus Villese.
Yo came forward really early, and he was able to get away with 2 goats. So I would do the same. If you feel like you're at a civ disadvantage, you most definitely want to try and get an advantage early, and so stealing that food can be helpful. Would you prefer to see a galley opening or a fire opening on the water here?
Oh, I think it has to be galley because like, whenever you have water that's like pretty big and like this one's like pretty big, I think galleys are almost always better because as soon as you get 4, you're just kiting and you can just run around forever. So definitely galleys if you're going water. However, I will say if there's a landing situation, you want fires if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Well, this is the first time I think in our cast that I slightly disagree. I think when I have seen galleys anyways, it's really tough to get that transition into the barracks and the range and whatnot, which we tend to see. It can dominate water, but I really like the idea of going 2 dock fires and no more, just continuing to produce, then switching immediately to land, as Yo is walking across the map right now.
Yeah, with a villager, and that's actually before he docks, by the way. So is this like a sneaky dock, or is he just going to completely ignore water?
I think he might try and deny the dock, but it feels really weird to try this when you have to walk the whole way. It's like even if you kill the Vill, that your Vill hasn't been working. Oh, and he missed it.
He's going back. Actually, Villese has to go back with that villager, but what Villese should do is sneak another Vill right now and just dock. You know what I mean?
Well, Villese is not expecting the Vill. So he's going to see the Vill and be like, wait, he's got a loomed Vill. And then Yo is docking it home. This is actually...
Oh my god.
This is actually really sick from Yo. He's delaying the dock, and his dock will be faster. But he didn't get a Vill kill, obviously.
Falling the shorefish, that's so smart, dude. He's just pissing off Villese, but Villese is gonna go off to the right side. He wants that shorefish. He's gonna find one there. Still delayed the dock quite a bit though. That's gonna be like a whole fishing ship's worth of delayed.
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, the villager was walking around, but now you've had, what, 2 idols for Villese? Yep. Plus Villese is down 2 goats. I mean, these are the little things that can make a difference. Yo's villager will be happy to run around as long as there's at least 1 villager from Villese chasing all the time, too.
Exactly. Like, and I think the thing about the situation is that without the scout, like if both players have a scout, no one can really kill the villagers. So this is just a trade-off of idle time. And Villese did commit to loom, by the way, so it's completely even on the land in terms of idle time and loom.
Well, it is cheaper to go up to the next stage with Italian still. I like how Yo is happy to run away with the full HP scout. Or not full HP, sorry, but higher HP scout. And doesn't really want to take engagements. And now...
Dude, I've been losing every scout fight lately. I'm pissed.
You have been?
Yeah, I've been losing every scout fight lately. It's going out with a little bit of extra HP is such a good feeling. Like,
yeah.
I haven't had it in a while, but damn.
Well,
sick.
I would just hate to be in Villese's shoes. Yo is notorious for things like sneak villagers and like forwards and stuff like that. And now there's a villager here. And you want to stop it, but the only way to stop it is to chase it, and you don't want to chase it, so you just decide not to do that. So it's got to be awkward here for sure.
There's actually, I think we're moving towards a meta where, especially when there's weird maps in tournaments, forward villagers, and I see Sato doing it a lot, forward villagers give a ton of value in terms of messing up your opponent's plan.
Yep.
And that's something we're seeing quite successfully here in this game. Just that forward villager, Villese has to always think about that.
Yep.
And he doesn't know what Yo's going to go for.
I think it'd be funny if Yo docks right next to his dock. Like, if he were to build his second dock right here on the front. Then again, I guess he couldn't defend his own fish as much, but as Villese is still going to be up, and now his house is even being attacked, so now he's got to make more houses? Like, oh god, this must be so annoying.
It's so annoying, yeah. Like, now he's dropping on 2 houses. I think the forward dock is a little bit risky, though, because then you're disconnected where your fires come out, and that's actually a pretty big deal, so... Probably dock at home for Yo makes more sense if he wants to go to the water, but hold on. He's looking like a T90. You got it, bro.
I mean,
dock
it
near Velez.
probably won't work, but it made sense to me in my brain. So
Yeah, Yo agrees, and that rock is a wall, so I think, yeah, this is totally fine. Yo will get this dock up. He does have that shortfish nearby as well, and this will make it near impossible. Well, actually, I say this, but even Velez's docks are kind of disconnected here. Pretty interesting.
yeah, a little bit. Like, what's annoying is wherever you're gonna fish, there's gonna be that dock there that you have to do something about. So, as good job for Velez with the faster feudal to kill the scout for Yo, or at least he's working on it.
Oh, he's gonna get it. For no way, he's gonna get it.
I mean, he's got a long way to run. Surely, there's gonna be a kill here.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, and Yo just housewalled in a villager for Velez. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yo's like, this isn't your house, but you live here now.
You live on the outside of this house, in between two trees. Oh god. And you can, in theory, make a galley and kill that bill later if you even want to. He's gonna go for another wall in. I think Yo was looking for it.
I have no clue what's happening, but Harold, what you said to your point about being disconnected, this is a concern for Yo. Oh wait, Yo could kill the Vil actually.
Yo's also taking some hits back home. There's so much to focus on. You can only imagine how the players are feeling right now.
Yeah, and this just isn't the type of game that Velez ever wanted with Italians. He wanted to go 2 docks, go fires or galleys, whatever. And now Yo has turned it into a different game. But still, Velez, he has the edge when it comes to the fire ship engagements. And so that's at least good for him as Yo is making a forward archer range.
But hold on. Velez did get Town Watch, actually. Velez sees it. Wow. Town Watch is huge when there's a forward villager. Sick, man. Sick.
Yeah, so now he can wall it out. And in theory, continue to win. Focus on water. Yo, though, is not finished on water. He's been repairing a little bit. Could lose a fishing ship, but I think he'd take losing a fishing ship if it would mean winning the water in the future fights. A good micro for Velez as well, and Velez backs away. This is a sick game here, Hera.
Sick. And fishing ships are like villagers, guys. Like, if you have a fishing ship on 1 HP, you almost don't care as long as it's working safely after that.
Yep.
So using that HP is just so smart to get that lead on the fire galley front of it here.
So what's more difficult, to control water from Yo's point of view or Velez's point of view right now?
Dude, I think it's probably equally as hard, but I would say maybe slightly for Velez it's harder because you don't know what Yo's aggression is looking like. Yo kind of sets the tempo for the game.
Yeah, and he's also been able to snipe some fish. The villager that next to the house is going to get shot down by that archer now, so she'll die. But as a positive for Velez, he did know this was coming, but he doesn't have a range yet. So he doesn't have any ranged defense. And Yo could maybe still find his way through as Yo is taking another good engagement on water. The chaos is paying off.
Wow, this is huge. And actually, so what's happening right now is Velez is taking the wall approach. So he's going to be walling off this archers, but Yo can still make archers and then win the water and transport over. That is an angle to take here. Because there's not a lot of space that the transfer has to travel here. And it looks like Yo is actually winning the water. Velez isn't committing as hard as I'd want him to at this point.
I think Velez, he didn't know what to do. Like, walling could have worked without the barracks, right? And I think when he was adding the barracks, he maybe didn't have the wood, maybe didn't have the gold or whatever to make ships or couldn't micro. And Yo setting the pace of the game. He's been untouched at home with the exception of a scout, which I think died next to a woodline or something. And these are the types of games I love, right? Like, I love the meta breakers. I love the messiness. Velez has a villager on the left that's now going to go down to 2 archers. This is all Mr. Yo right now.
Yeah, and like going forward, what every water map or hybrid map should be in tournaments, where there's things that could happen. Every game is different, and it feels like there's no set kind of meta. And this just leads to games like this, I think, where this is what high-level Age of Empires is all about. Being able to adapt on the fly, having a prepared strategy, and being able to kind of mix it up based on the situation, based on what your opponent throws at you here. Looks like Yo is planning to go Castle Age, by the way. He's got 5 farms. No horse collar. Oh, with horse collar, actually. That's pretty huge.
Isn't it funny, though? Because, like, I guarantee you, like, your mindset right now is like, oh, I appreciate this. This is so cool. Variety. If you're in Velez's shoes, that is the furthest thing from your mind. You're like, oh, my God. Like, well, what do I do? Like, oh, my whole strategy's ruined. Like, oh, I've got to play the game normal. You know, like, as a caster, though, we're just like, oh, yeah, this is cool, man. This is fun.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like these games are the hardest to play for the players, but also the most frustrating. Like if you're losing these games,
Yeah.
you're all over the place. You're flustered. It's not like you lost because of some micro. You lost because there's just so many things going on, and you just got beat to them basically. Nice little
Good
demo there. Velez
hold
takes a
for
small win.
Velez. Yeah, small win. Also, could end up being massive if you could keep both of these ships alive, but it doesn't seem like they're cooperating.
Oh, he's blocking himself.
Yeah.
Rough. Yep. Now Yo gets away with that one. Yo, any transfer ship going through? Not really. Yo kind of yeah. Yo kind of abandoned that archer play. He made two, forced them off the wood line, and well, to be fair, like Velez is producing a lot of archers now as well, randomly.
Yeah, and I think for Yo, the outpost on the right side of his base is so important because if the archers were to come in, he'll have vision on that now. I think Yo's food eco is going to be good enough where he might not even go archers in the next stage. I think he might just go into a stable. And personally, I like to see the stable at home because if archers do come over, you want to have an answer for that.
Yep. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I would even maybe expect two stables from Mr. Yo at home as well, and just play knights from home now, and you're kind of chilling. Like the good thing about knights is the mobility. So if you just do them from home, you're always safe, and then you can just push out no problem.
Yeah, it sucks if you're in Velez's shoes because you kind of want to fight back on water, but now like maybe 25% of the fish are gone. You're already behind on water, so he's not gonna do that. Look at Yo's stable. Are you sure Lix isn't playing right now? He's going full Lix, man. It's just like. He's like, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to look at it.
Yeah, I'm going knights. You try to stop it. That's what he's saying to his opponent right now.
The thing is like, that's probably not wise Age of Empires. Like, I feel like you should hide it. But there's also the mental aspect where why not show them that and freak them out?
Unless he's insane and makes one stable there and then two stables at home, forces Velez to wall one way and then attacks him from a completely different angle. But I don't know if those that might be like just way too much mind games. And Velez, listen, he's on the attack. He wants to make something happen here because he feels he's behind. And he's gonna find a villager.
I think this is maybe the first strategical flaw we could call Yo out for. It's just not expecting his opponent to go ranged units because he's had ranged units for a while. There's no water for Velez. You should expect something, and fortunately for Yo, he can damage control. He's not going to lose many more villagers here, and I'm sure one knight will deal with this, but just a little sloppy there for Yo. Could have made more of his situation.
He did do, like, all this idle time. Like, he's shifting his gold. Like, all of a sudden, if Yo somehow loses this game, you come back to this moment, and you think, like, man, that was actually a big mistake, because he's really like taking a lot of damage to what shouldn't have even troubled him in the slightest. Besides that one build on the walls, he's gonna make a knight now to clear it up. He is slowly pushing from his stable at Velez's position as well now. Now going with the siege workshop. So that's his main plan here. That's his main plan.
Yeah, and you see Velez hop out. There's actually small potential for Velez to deny this because he's gonna run out with his archers. And Yo notices now the knight's gonna come out for Yo as well. This is gonna be really intense for Velez. Oh, he's not able to get it.
That's just so huge because the ships there are blocking the situation, and now the villager will definitely be able to get that siege workshop up. House behind it though. Velez will stay safe here. Velez archers will be found now. Yo is chasing them with a knight and a town center at home from Yo. I actually like this because he's Sicilian, so like, you definitely want to get town centers.
Yeah, and he has such good food eco that doesn't rely on the water. So he's pushing. And Velez is very much in a position where Velez has to throw everything out this forward. And I think Yo is going to have a massive lead. This has been one of the more entertaining strategies that I've seen in this tournament, if not the most entertaining. Denying the dock, delaying the dock, using the forward Vil, transitioning into eco behind. This is so well played for Mr. Yo.
And I swear it's almost like that forward Vil won him the game because that completely just threw the timing off from Velez. And Italians are nothing but a sieve of timing if you really think about it. With the cheaper age up, the water is just a fight of timing as well. So it's just like throwing that whole thing off 30 seconds just makes such a big difference. And now the siege is coming in. Now the knights are pretty unstoppable. They will break in here, it seems.
Yeah, and if they get any more damage in, we're borderline at GG already because I think even if there was no damage, and there's the GG. Literally. If there's no damage, the economy's still going to be better for Yo. The control's still going to be better for Yo. Les still needs to get a lot of conversions, which he was going to try for. 25-minute game, but that was like as entertaining as some of those crazy back and forth games that go an hour. So cool.
100%. Yo, with a clean strategy and what we consider to be the weaker civ on this map here. And yeah, to be honest, like of all the games I've seen on this map, it just felt like the meta or the winning strategy was a little bit of water fights. As you said, fire galleys actually tend to perform really well in messy games, and then you just try to get a forward position with some sort of land attack, and it's just been so successful. One thing we didn't talk about as well is that Yo got both farm and wood upgrade in Castle Age, so he was actually prioritizing his economy while pushing on the land, and I love to see that.
Yeah, sick stuff, and that's. I have not talked a lot about saving strategies in a tournament like this. I don't think Yo necessarily did, but I don't think anyone did that to Villese before. I think that was the first time Villese had ever encountered something like that, which obviously helps. If that were to become meta, then by the time Villese makes it to the finals, he's prepped to deal with it. GG for Yo, but definitely lining up to be a series that's going to go back and back. Wow, back and forth here.
Back, true. 20 seconds away from this next game, by the way. Coast and Mountains, the map. Huns versus Poles. Very interesting. Dude, what do you think of Poles, by the way? I'm tired of seeing the civ being passed over. It's so good, is it not?
Well, not on hybrid maps. I don't think hybrid maps, they're very good. So that is a little alarming for Yo. It probably comes back to having, like, not having options. I would maybe even prefer to see Portuguese on a hybrid map. But no, I think the Polish eco is insane. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And it is something that if they're given the time, they're able to dominate virtually any civilization. And it's not, they're a bit goth-like in some stages where it's not even down to a good KD. It's just making so many units. So one of my biggest regrets as a caster was, and I mean, I was right at the end of the day, but you know, sometimes I like get focused on certain things. And I remember Red Bull last year, Vinchester picked Poles. And I was just like so annoyed with him picking Poles because, you know, Vinchester's reputation for a while was to pick a civ that he shouldn't and die, right? So like I listened to that back and I was like, dude, you got to shut up. Like I just said, Poles suck. Why do you do Poles? And I feel bad about that still. But afterwards, of course, like 3 months later, everyone's starting to figure out the Poles. So I can kind of see why he might have done that. So what do you think about Poles on Coast to Mountain, though? Because when you're thinking Poles, you're thinking mining stone and receiving a bit of gold as well, and you're thinking about the farming eco usually.
Yeah, so I actually think that their biggest weakness is being forced to play water, because then you don't farm. And it almost seems like Yo is not playing water this game, actually. Yeah. And because of that weakness, like basically there's two things that make Poles, not gonna say overpowered, but strong. It's the farming around the full works that is really strong, and then the next bonus, which is the mining stone that also gives you gold, that just opens up so many doors, like forward castles, you know, stuff that you can't do with other civilizations. I think that's why I really like them. And I think that their late game is definitely very solid as well. But not docking on this map, like there's a risk to that. I'm not sure what you think about that one, though, T90.
Yeah, so here's what should happen, right? If Yo wants to go for no dock, then Villese is scouting the shoreline with his camel right now. He will see no dock, and he will just add a second dock of his own, and he'll spam fishing ships. So as it stands, Villese already has 1 eco up over his opponent because he's opened with the dock. It's going to be like 5, 10, and I don't know Polish farms are necessarily good enough to bring you back from that deficit. So I guess we are going to see a dock for Yo. A little weird to see it at this point, though, because usually players send 1 villager this direction right away, and then they build the TC with the other ones.
Dude, is this like a 200 IQ play to like make your opponent think you're not docking, and then you have a dock? Dude, there's no way he's thought that through, though. Like,
yeah, true. You're right. Because now, if you look at the scouting for Villese, he assumes there's no dock. Also, if he were to lose the camel there, oh, that would have been sick.
That would have been crazy. Actually, you can tell by how Yo garrisoned there that I think he really wanted to kill the camel. Like, I think he knows this dock is very sneaky, to be honest.
Okay. It's so hard not to give Yo credit for those things, but I feel like if we were to ask Yo, he'd just be like, no, I just forgot. I forgot to send my bill.
That's the thing. Like, you don't want to put them on such a high pedestal. Like, oh my god, he thought of the craziest thing when you're casting. But at the same time, you know, this is a very odd thing to do. So you wonder, like, it could either be something very potato or very, like, intelligent. And
he's close to losing a Vill here to this elephant. And Halstrick, there you go. He's good.
Do you think that should be patched out, or is that something that just has to stay in the game?
Nah, I think it's good.
Okay, I agree.
Well,
they're taking away the Magnol delete, though. You know about that, right?
Well, Are they taking it out with hill advantage or just the normal delete? Because it's the dumbest thing in the world where you can delete a mangonel on flat ground that do the same amount of damage. This is the stupidest thing ever. I know it like leads to hype moments, but it makes zero sense. There's at least some sense to if you're firing up the hill, deleting, which is a risk, I suppose, to do a little bit more damage. So I don't know which one. I don't know if it's both, but
That's a good point. I have no
think
idea.
it's definitely good for the game. These shots where people are on flat ground deleting their mangonels to make the mangonels do more damage is just ridiculous. So that's my take.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, I think the hill one makes for a little bit of a you can at least defend a little.
Oh my god, yo!
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's a free villager.
Yeah,
it's a free villager.
And even if Villese would have got the first hit, the Polish villagers heal up. So that would be an easy win for Yo, and you could see why there's a big difference between them. And now, wait a second, Villese can't get his second dock up. He was on gold. He wanted to go water. And he has to send a Vill across the map. I don't think that villager's there for an elephant. I think she's going over there to end up docking.
Yep. And Yo is docking on Valise's forehead here. He's up 30 seconds faster.
Wow,
dude,
man.
This might just be like an insta win on the water. Yo's on gold.
Yeah.
He's not missing a beat here.
And he's Poles too. So like if you win on water, or at least are competitive on water, and you get into farming later. I know Hun's not having to make houses and whatnot is actually really beneficial for them, but that's sick. We have an immediate switch of strategy for Villese, though. He's going barracks right there in the middle of the map. So as his camel's heading to the north to scout for Yo, I think he's going to go archers now.
I almost just want to see a tower defense from Yo. Like you're mining stone with poles. Like as soon as Yo wins the water, I think you just go to stone and tower defense. At least 2 towers on that main land.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to see that and then develop from there.
So, by the way,
I
don't know if this is 100%, but I trust the user who said this.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, deleting makes no difference whatsoever in, like, the upcoming changes.
Oh, okay.
So my take on that is Huang is going to love it. If he finds it, like, it really buffs all-in mangonel pushes, which I don't think is necessarily bad for the game, by the way, because PCs are already pretty strong, but...
Bad for my game, but...
Yeah,
bad
for your game, better for others, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that it's something that does shake up things ever so slightly, but does shake it up nonetheless. By the way, Villese is going to go for 2 galleys and snipe fish, which is 100% the correct approach. Like, you have to do that. That's so smart. And he's also going for a stable on the land. And we are seeing the full work and the barracks from Yo. So he's transitioning to land himself, but I'm just not sure how the timing is going to play out.
I personally would prefer to have seen a range because you're already on wood and you're already on gold. And if you were to start with a normal scout that could already attack, I like scouts because, boom, you get the second scout, you're killing villagers. But one scout is just going to force a spearman from Yo, and Yo will just have so much time with the spearman to get his walls down, in theory. So I feel like with the archers, if you show up, Yo has to go for a tower, or he is nothing. You know, the spearman wouldn't cut it there. But he is actually going to add a range as well here for Les.
Actually, fully agree with everything you just said, by the way. That was, I have nothing to add. That's perfect. And now he's adding the range, but like it just makes sense to have the range first, and then maybe later a stable.
Yeah, when he adds skirms.
Then you have more archers. Yeah, exactly. It's like that's how. And now even I think Villese is realizing like I have 1 scout, bro. This guy's not doing anything. He's waiting for a second, but yeah, it feels like not the most impactful of a push. And Yo is completely winning the water, by the way. And yeah, Villese managed to snipe a couple fish boats, but nothing too crazy there, the galleys.
But this is crucial timing. If you look at Yo's camel, he's scouting the base and he's not going to see anything. And I think the positioning of the buildings for Villese, as well as the patience with his army, because he is waiting for an archer, is so important here. I do not see Yo getting all of his walls down in time. That said, Villese is attacking the barracks, which has to be a little misclick there, and that's going to give Yo a bit of a heads up.
Yeah, but Yo is abandoning the full walls, which I actually think he shouldn't. I think he should get the spearman there and actually rush down the full walls. Even if you lose 1 villager, you just don't want to risk playing an open battlefield now against Huns. So you just risk it. You send 2-3 villas, you full wall, and then you're completely safe on the land after that. And he's making a tower, but like it just has to be full walls here. It's so much better, no?
I mean, he doesn't know exactly. He sees the archer, maybe a little concerned. You got to make the decision right away, right?
Yeah, true.
And he might try and do both, actually. I guess the tower would defend the wood line in a sense.
True, true. I don't even mind it. Yeah, if he gets a market and a house, I think it should be enough. Stone wall. Oh god, hate to see it.
Well, with poles, I actually love
Boom.
it because I mean, you can go to stone a little later,
True, true. It's not
and
even,
you
yeah, he's
can't
making
you
a
can't make
tower.
a town
Yeah.
center anyways with 75
Yeah.
stone. So okay,
Not
so
even bad,
looking
yeah.
pretty good for Yo then. He's got some fish, not as many as you would normally want, and he has completely protected himself so far from scouts and archers when he had just a spearman.
He's luring an elephant to the mill, by the way. It's not just in Low Elo Legends. It's also in the grand finals of a 10K tournament. Gotta love to see it.
He's got a wall too, though. Like this is completely open on the other side.
Yep.
If he was maybe on stone, he could think about some towers. Okay, he's bought the stone, but I still feel like this tower's got to be well placed here for Yo.
I think that's good enough. He's gonna wall the top tower here. Yeah, you shouldn't really be able to do too much there from Velez. And Velez did the right thing, by the way, just not wasting time going right to the right side of the base and just trying to get in there. But Yo is probably gonna be safe, and I think now he's on stone. I would even say go heavy on stone as poles here. It's not a bad thing to get onto.
Well, I mean, I also love what Velez has been able to do at home. He's got a total of 7 farms. We talk a lot about transitional eco in these hybrid maps. And that on top of taking the hunt. And Yo is buying some food at the moment. Obviously, though, poles can be insane. If they can start to get their farms down, ideally with horse color around the full work, it becomes really, really good for Yo. As what is that, like 12 villagers dropping off the food from the elephants?
This is crazy, man. He's desperate. He just buys it. He gets like, okay, let's just get up there. Dude, it's so crazy. We see 2 different approaches from 2 different civilizations, and they're both neck and neck castle time. Like, what is Age of Empires, bro? Like, this is crazy stuff.
They both played so well in the semifinals, and they're both playing really well here. But finally, like, the previous game was kind of over on the way to Castle Age, and I feel like this game is going to go on for a lot longer here, so I'm happy to see that.
I don't think that, yeah, Yo is adding fishing ships now. I think he should have done that a little bit earlier. I think maybe he was respecting the galleys a little bit too much, but like he's not really making use of the water. He's got 2 fishers only.
Also, look at this tower here for Velez. He just casually built a tower. I don't think Yo noticed it.
True.
And now Yo can't comfortably take the stone. There's also archers inside the tower.
You can't hop that, can you?
I think you probably could, but well, actually, if you could, it would be worth it.
Yeah, I think if you could, you would. So I don't think you can.
Well, he should be. If he's trying, it would be ejecting at least, right? Velez probably has some like honor to him. You know, he's like, oh no, that's a glitch. But
do you really? Would he do that? I don't know.
I mean, I would take full advantage of it if I could do it, and I'd laugh the whole time. So I.
I'm not the right guy to ask. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm the same boat, bro. If it's in the game, it's legal. That's how I say it. Unless it's specifically said in the rules, of course. But, yeah. Listen, it's gonna be a cav archer angle for Velez. Second range going down. Bloodlines. It's definitely gonna be cav archers. But I almost don't like cav archers when you have forward ranges. Like, it gets really messy really fast, I think.
Well, I do like what he's done overall to Yo's economy. Yo has 1 single farm with the poles. Yeah. So that fact right there is that archer is doing a weird glitch there for Velez. That's good. And also, Velez has full vision on where Yo will go. Whether it's in the middle of the map, where he's got even villagers taking stone boldly. He just sees everything. So he knows Yo's going to go scorpions or mangonels here. He knows Yo won't have a lot of space. And I think space is so important for the poles if they want to get those farms down.
That, yeah. I think especially on a map like this where you don't exactly have a lot of space, if you're naturally crammed into a corner, losing more of that from your opponent, it just makes it that much harder. And Velez making a knight, by the way, that's really smart. I see a lot of players when they go cav archers, they kind of just wait till they get the mass, but it makes the aggression so slow. So getting that one knight out, small investment, gets you the pressure, and it's huge. It really is a big deal.
Delayed the monastery here for a while as well. I mean, think of the Polish bonuses we talked about. If you mine stone, you get some gold from it. And then if you place farms around full works, their food count spikes. And I think Yo's going to start to place those farms, but I mean, as of now, he's only placed 1 farm, and he's barely been on stone this game. So
yeah, we're actually
this is amazing for Velez.
None of the bonuses being used so far, or used very efficiently. Also, that one tower that Velez made, that's gonna get mangonel down now. So it just feels like Yo is struggling to set up his base, or not necessarily struggling, but definitely is delayed in setting up his base, and only now getting towards the farms, basically.
Yeah, this is Yo for you though. He's like, well, this isn't the best. His army's coming to my base. Am I going to respond to it with my army? Nope. I'm actually just going to hope he doesn't realize I'm gone and hope he runs into my towers. But I think Villese could justify running past there. It's always awkward in this position because you don't know 100% how this fight's going to go.
Yeah, you don't even know what's there, really. But Villese takes a gamble, goes to the back. There's a Magnet and a Scorpion and a couple towers. If you micro correctly, Villese could do some damage, but it's also a pretty easy defense from Yo if he just keeps that Magnet alive.
Oh, man, the
And he
repair
keeps it,
is so clutch. And now
Big.
the fact that Yo, I mean, he's attacking a mill, boo-hoo, but the fact that he actually has the Knights forward right now is such a big plus.
Yeah, how is... Actually, Villese has nothing to defend there. He's going to rush down the town center because he realized that you just got nothing in the back there to defend. Yeah. But, of course, Yo is just chilling on the coast there. Not too much action there. And those 3 cav archers are being forced back, dude. I'm not even sure how I think about cav archers nowadays. Like, I don't even know if they're good. I think you need a lot of them for them to really be scary, to be honest.
Well, you can boom really easily while making them, which I think is a plus. My rule of thumb is if you're faster to Castle Age, it's an amazing unit. But, you know, you're not going to have time to really mass them if you have even Castle Age compared to, you know, someone who mixes in... what is Yo doing here? Is someone who mixes in Scorpions or Knights.
Yeah, and in low numbers, you get countered by everything. You're getting countered by monks. You're getting countered by scorpions. This feels like there's a lot of things that you can't get done with the cav archers. They also shoot pretty slow, but obviously that mobility is huge. 3 town centers from Villese, only 2 from Yo. But I think you only really need 2 if you're using the farms properly, which he is starting to do that now.
Yeah, those Knights, they are being moved around now, but they check to see if Villese would have town centered any of those golds and stones on the shoreline. That is definitely a focus in the long term on this map, so everyone should pay attention to the mini map there. Yo is just full work city over here, adding another full work, going to place more farms. His food count's going to spike. I think whether or not he adds a 3rd town center here in a second really tells us his plan. 3 TCs would probably be better if he wouldn't have had to wall so close to the corner. Because now, it looks awkward if you place a 3rd one in there.
I think I might have rewinded a little bit, but I am getting right back to speed. My bad about that, chats. And yeah, now I see the walls going down on the top side. I almost think that Yo should prioritize mining stone, and just in case the pressure from Villese builds up, because I think. But that being said, you don't really care for the fast imp as poles. Like, what do you do here? Do you go for like fast, like late castlage? I don't know what units to make here. Maybe Arblast straight up.
Well, he's going to place a town center. Now, the 2 archers for Villese that hopped out of that tower that I'm sure he forgot about might see that TC. In theory, Villese could deny that. Not with just the 2 archers, but maybe another cav archer. But the main group of cav archers is a long way away. But I think he notices here, Hera. He's heading over with a knight and a cav archer right now.
Really strong reaction times from Villese. I feel like he's really on the ball when it comes.
There's also
a hole for the knight.
Yep.
Oh, that's big. That's big. That's big.
Yeah, and this is going to allow Villese to really snowball this. He's got 3 town centers. Remember, he didn't have fish for very long in this game. And if that town center would have gone up, it would have been even. But now that the TC's not going up, this will mean Villese takes the lead.
I actually think I much prefer Villese's position here, because keep in mind, guys, on this map, there's a hill at the top. So if Villese is sitting at the top of the base there, attack round comes in, clutch. Those scorpion hits also quite heavy. If you stay at the top, you have the hill bonus. I just don't know if that's enough incentive to stay there. You might want to just run. Yeah,
I think with Yo having 1 monk there, this is actually the perfect amount. 1 mangonel, 3 scorpions, and 1 monk. And there's nothing Villese can really do. But he might... This is where I get stuck. Because if I were in Villese's shoes, I would do... Okay. He's going for a siege workshop. That's what I would want to do. But anytime I get a considerable amount of siege, my opponent's going to have a castle with poles. Because of their... because of mining stone this whole time. So...
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about the siege? Good to apply pressure anyways, I guess?
Like, I think you probably want to go siege from Villese's position because you don't really know if you're behind or not. And I think you think you're behind. These are some nasty shots from the Mangonels, by the way, from Yo. I will say. So I think siege is good. And I will say, even if there's a castle on one side, you can still push the other. So it's not bad.
That's true.
But I do agree, like, I think poles are extremely tricky to play against in this situation. If I was Yo's up to Imp, what?
These full works are insane, man.
That's what I'm telling you. You gave poles away. You know what I mean? Like, poles was the second save you gave away. Oh, God. It's so strong. People need to respect the Civ.
Well, again, in theory, Villese who's collecting relics in the middle of the map, which I hate. I prefer he take them home. But in theory, Villese will be up relatively soon because he hasn't been spending a lot of food. He's only making cav archers, but I think early Imperial Age is where Poles can shine. If it goes late, the fact they don't get the final armor upgrade on their cav really hurts. But after that unique tech, which is, I don't know how to say it, so I just say Sriracha privileges. After Sriracha is completed, things get pretty hot, and there's could be 50, 60, 70 Cavalier, and I still think that's too cheap. I think like 60% off, combined with all these farms, is maybe a bit much for the Poles. That's how strong they are.
I think you definitely slow down the farms before touching that tech. That tech is like...
Maybe, yeah.
It's really expensive. Dude, I think you just go Winged Hussar here, honestly.
Of course you... Why?
But no,
Why?
but no. Like, it's actually good here.
Well,
I know
yeah,
it's neat.
but so is
I know.
Cavalier. Cavalier ends the game.
No, it doesn't.
So you're saying Winged Hussar because Cavalier's not strong enough, and then you save up a bunch of gold and then flood with your gold bank.
Because if you go Cavalier, then what do you... Okay, he's gonna go Cavalier. Sriracha privilege is
You're
coming
the
in.
you're the only person in the top 20 who would open Winged Hussar and actually think it's a good idea.
Because you open Hussar, you spam your gold, you spam your food, excuse me, and then you switch to Arbalest, and like boom, I have a perfect comp. If I go Cavalier, then what do I do after? Then I have to get the Hussar tech later. So
okay,
we'll see. If Yo loses this, come back to me, bro. I might talk some shit, but come back to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Hey, I mean, I have no, I could pick your Civ every game. I'd probably still lose. So I don't really know if this is like, we should turn this into a competition because I'll lose. But Cavalier's on the way, and I think Villese is going to expect this, but I haven't seen additional barracks for him yet. Are you worried about that?
I almost feel like against Poles, you don't want barracks. I think what you should do is definitely go Cav Archers, and if anything, you want to wall the defensive castles.
Yeah.
That's better than Halbs because they're missing the last armor. So you actually just need to survive.
Yep.
And Halb isn't really the way to do it.
So Yo had early Cavalier in an instance against ACCM, and then also an instance against Say My Name. So the last two players he played. And what he would do is, I think this is the smartest thing you can do, he wouldn't address the castle in this situation. He wouldn't address the Cav Archers. His first wave loops around a raid. And it's super tough to deal with raids. Like, how are you going to wall this map, right? You would have to stonewall the whole map, which is probably unrealistic. And so if Yo could get that in, and then his follow-up army go into where that castle is, I think that would maybe be his best decision.
Yeah. One thing we need to talk about, actually, Villese has 4 relics. Granted, they're on the front monastery, which is always a little bit scary, but if you can hold that position, man, 4 relics is a really good win condition to have in a game like this, where you are behind, but if you just hold, 4 relics is not bad. So here we see the Cavalier come out, guys. 140 HP, they're pretty tanky, but they are missing that last armor, which will hurt their tankiness in the long run for sure against Cav Archers.
And it actually hurts them now. Normally you get the imp armor. We have a lumber camp quick wall from Villese. A lumber camp quick wall again. That's sick.
He's Hunts, he can't make a house. That's insane, actually.
Love it.
Dude, that guy's crazy.
But
chemistry ballistics?
They just melted there. Like, they just melted. So you're saying that maybe the Cavalier, even with the unique tech, could be seen as a slight waste of gold. And if he would have gone Winged Hussar, he's banking gold to make a switch later.
Because then you play like Arbalest, because now he bought the unique tech, and if you're not making Cavalier in 5 minutes, I'm calling that a waste, right?
Yeah,
He only has 15 Cavaliers, so... And look, they're just so useless, bro. Like, Poles have to open Arbalest into Winged Hussar. It's their best competition. See, this is why people think Poles sucks. They're not using Hussar.
I think the unique tech, whatever the other one is, the one that gives them like trample damage or whatever.
Yep.
I think it's pretty pricey. But I could see what you mean now. I love how the Cavalier getting in here, though. It's allowed Yo to expand to the right corner, so he's able to take more of the map. And he's also going to take out that monastery. That is the most triggering thing I've seen in this final so far. Why collect the relics for the enemy? Just get your monks and make a new monastery at home. You don't have to build houses the entire game. So just save the wood, make another monastery, and have the relics at your base.
Don't you feel like it's so annoying to do that, though? Like, I'm not going to say it's too hard to multitask. I would say it's just too annoying to do that. That's what I think, at least, with the monks.
I would say it is annoying, but it's more annoying to lose the relics now.
Yeah, that's
so it's
true.
like, what's worse for you, I guess, in the long term?
Yeah.
And look at Yo. I mean, he's using this Cavalier Flood, and he's using 2 trebuchets to go after the castle for Villese. And Villese is a big, massive CA, And it's probably the better army right now, but Yo's just spreading out with everything and continuing the flood.
Quick wall, that's huge.
I'll get a couple kills here. Now, how many CA does he send after this is my question. Because if he sends like 20, that's fine. He really needs to have CA on the front, Hera. Down goes the castle. The raids continue for Yo, but still no sign of a tech switch. It's still just Cavalier for him.
Yeah, and the problem is, like, the longer this goes, and oh, crop rotation from Yo. Normally I'd say this is a huge waste, but with Pulse, does it even make sense to get it? Is it worth it?
I think it's worth it. I think what's gonna hurt Yo in a second though is that he hasn't killed a Cav Archer in, well, okay, he just killed one as I said it, but for the most part he hasn't been taking engagements against Cav Archers.
Yeah.
All of him. And so while Vills have gone down for Villese, he's still got 130, and he's now got 70 Cav Archers, not even fully upgraded yet. So he could get heavy Cav Archer, and I don't know if Yo can engage against the Death Ball.
And he's literally 200 pop, by the way. Like, Villese is completely chill. The worst part about Villese's position is the fact that he lost the relics in the front and that Yo can take them.
Yep.
That's the worst. And Yo will have 5 relics if he does take them. But Yo, coming back to the Cavalier, man, I genuinely think it's not a good approach. I think now he needs Arbalest or at least Skirms, but Skirms will cut it because there's Light Cap from Villese already on the field.
Well, I think there's concern for Villese when it comes to getting Light Cap, though, because he's only got 26 on food. And I think he's like sending everything on a wood and gold at the moment. He's could lose some TCs. We have Yo who's going to try and drop another castle. This is really bold because if the CA were here, it wouldn't work. But all the Cav Archers, look at all the Cav Archers at the main TC.
Cavalier.
All chasing the Cavalier. It becomes so difficult when you're reacting. And he's clearly realized now. But Yo's castle is going to go up, which means the Trebs will take out the town center. Yeah, Hera, I don't know if Villese is ever going to have that eco to be able to get full upgrades on the Light Cav.
Yeah, I almost think that it might not even be worth it to switch into Light Cav, and that you just get heavy Cav Archer, and you just stall the game until you have, like, because you can't really lose the Cav Archers, so you just stall the game until you have the Hussar afterwards, until you can afford it. But now it feels like now he's trying to tech into Light Cav a little too early. Oh boy. Also, I don't think you counterattack with the Cav Archers. You send them back and try to defend. There's a lot of Cavalier on the field right now.
Yeah, you could tell, like, this is what pressure does. You could tell he thought about sending a full army forward, and now he sees this. And it's so tough, right? Because you know Skirmisher is probably going to be something that Yo mixes in. So Light Cav makes sense with that mindset, but you know, maybe Heavy Cav Archer just boosting your best unit would be the way to do it. He's certainly got the res right now, but Yo is going to take out a Trebuchet. Keep in mind he'll have all the relics, and we have Villese going for the final armor upgrade there for the Light Cav.
Yeah, and he is going for Heavy Cav Archers just behind the queue on a range, but it is coming eventually here. But my god, you have to give credit for just Yo. Not only is he raiding, but he's also pushing and finding the right time to commit to the forward castles and to take that space. Because Yo does not win in an all-out engagement, but he does win with the mobility, and he's using that beautifully.
Yeah, I think the castle that we're looking at now next to the Trebs was key, because there's also a lot of golden stone there for him. And the second, this is what I want to see from Yo. The second he sees the Cav Archers, I want him to say, see ya, and run right to Villese's base. He's like, oh, that's where your group is? That's funny. I'm going to go to your base now. And Villese has to come back. Villese has to react to this.
Yeah, you can't move out. You have the best army in the field, and you can't move out. How crazy is that?
Yep. It all comes back to the momentum Yo was able to gain in early Imp. The Imp timings and everything, and oh, geez. And I like this for Villese. He's sending some of his army back because he knows he can't react fully, but now there's Skirms there too. So this is Yo extending his lead even further. Will have all 5 relics. Hasn't made a single winged Hussar, and he's killing it.
Yeah, dude, gotta give him credit. Cavalier Skirm, it's holding up for the time being. However, I will say, Villese actually has a lot of resources, but I just question his ability to stabilize. Let's see if he can. If he can just clear the Cavalier from his base, somehow get to Hussar himself, which I think the tech is on the way. I'm not sure, though. His composition is better, but he's down to 5 relics now, so we'll see how that plays out from here.
Yeah, he's also down to 80 villagers, which is a bit low, but he does have the CA. Oh, never mind. The CA aren't able to really advance back there. That would have been a good spot for them, where all the farms are for Yo. But yeah, the ability to spam Cavalier endlessly is just insane with this Civ.
Yep.
I think if they had the final armor upgrade, it might be like the best Civ in the game, honestly.
Thank you. I was just thinking that, actually, because you have unmatched eco, right?
Yep.
Like, it's like we talk about Chimera farms, Slap farms, it's Pulse farms. Like, that's truly the best one, I believe. So if they have the last armor upgrade combined with Cavalier and the trample damage bringing his star, they're just crazy. Stonewalls from Villese. We had to see that like 10 minutes ago, I think. It's a good move though. It's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that is going to help a little bit right now. But now that Yo has skirmishers, keep in mind Poles don't get the final armor upgrade on their skirmishers either. The skirmishers are actually going to help a little bit to the CA rates. Good job from Villese coming in with light cav. But there's just Cavalier everywhere. Yo's trying to deny a castle for Villese near the shoreline. The Elephant's also trying to deny it. Man.
So the problem with Villese's play here is like he's trying to attack with the CA. That's the wrong idea. You have to defend with CA, attack with light cav.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do, because the light cap can just run in. Like when we talk about running to the back of the farms, the light cap could have done it where the CA couldn't. So
yeah,
that's
tricky,
the big problem here. Yeah.
Like and you can't make the right decision because everywhere you go, Yo's gonna see it and he's gonna switch to another area. So you know, it's not like you're just controlling one or two armies. You're constantly making army. You probably, if you had to control group the armies you're using, you probably need to have like 8 control groups because it's just patrol, all these different angles. It's so random. And Yo...
And look at this. Like, Yo's just on the right now, like just denying or trying to deny castle. Good stonewalls from
okay,
Villese,
here,
and
real quick.
Yeah,
the camel for Villese is also walled in next to the castle.
Is there a camel?
That's the starting camel.
Oh god.
The camel's blocking the foundation. Imagine if he only had one villain there. That's hilarious.
It's okay, man. That camel's safe. We leave no man behind. Not even a camel. You gotta respect it here. And I think Villese is slowly burning out here, guys. 160 pop for him. He's kind of at the limit of resources. And Mr. Yo is going Siege Ram in his face. He does have the 5 relics. Remember that. So gold is never an issue here. Siege Ram will break the top stone walls as well. Yo looking to break into Cavalier now. Big moves.
Yeah, and sucky spot when you see your pop is 160 and then you see your Vil count is 60. You're like, wait, what? I have 100 military?
Yeah, and you almost don't even feel that 100 military. I would have actually believed you if you told me Yo had 100 military with just how the momentum's been this game.
Yeah, true.
It's like more well-positioned military for him. And Cavalier, he's just throwing them, man. He's just throwing them.
He's got 55 Cavalier, and he's got 30 in Q, and he has 35 on gold, and he has all the relics. This game is well and truly over. Very impressive from Yo. I think the most impressive thing was actually the opening to Feudal Age. Because Villese was expecting to win water against the Poles, and he never had that opportunity. That was so cool.
Yeah, it all comes back to the little things. And I think that there wasn't too many mistakes in the mid game, but just maybe some late game mistakes from Villese cost him a little bit. Maybe it's just good play from Yo, as I see a castle now in his farm eco, or at least close to the gold on the right-hand side. As you said, Yo loves the castle near the stone mines and the gold mines. It's just his, that's his thing. And GG, 3-1 for Mr. Yo with the Poles. Not too bad.
213 Cavalier were made by Yo.
That's crazy.
And he had 40 more in Q.
After watching this, as Mr. Yo is getting murder holes, by the way, throwback there. Maybe Cavalier is correct, man. I don't know, like that seemed pretty good. I would have loved to see Villese play a little bit more tight on defense, like just a little bit less chasey. But gotta give credit where credit's due, and Mr. Yo's macro play at the end of the late game with his military, it was fantastic. Really well played.
Well, imagine a world where Villese doesn't have those 4 relics in the middle, right? And then also has his Cav Archer in position where the most forward castle is for Yo in the north. If Villese, like, there was definitely a point where the Cav Archers were stronger in that mass. So if Villese didn't chase as much, right? If he maybe could appropriately assign Cav Archers to the different areas, but keep that middle position as well as have the relics. Maybe, I know we're still talking about the Poles, but maybe then Yo actually starts to struggle, can't get as many Cav out. And if he's not hitting Villese has Hussar, you know, like that was the stage of the game. Early imp, I think the opportunities were there. But at the end of the day, Poles are Poles. Yo, I don't think he has a single farm placed imperfectly here. I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full works, and I think every single farm he's made is around the full work. That's Poles for you.
Yep, I think that's something that at first, I remember when the Poles first came out, people were like completely disrespecting that bonus, just making farms on the TC first and then transitioning. But nowadays, people realize how strong that bonus is, and it's only farms on the full works, how it should be really. And I really like how unique that is for the Poles as well.
Yep, I like it a lot. They have so many bonuses going for them. Velez, he is now down 3-1. I'm sure that won't feel good, but he even has one more game to work with. If he were to lose the next game, he still has opportunities. It's a best of 9. But Yo, for me, it's like if Velez doesn't take full advantage in like these small moments, Yo is more well-rounded with his decision-making, at least so far. That's what I'm seeing.
Dude, I think Turks might be the most underrated civilization in the game, by the way. Just the amount of options they have. Yeah, they have some clear weaknesses, obviously, like the trash and stuff. But the amount of options they have on a mix of compositions, it's really good, man. Like I really like Turks these days.
Okay, interesting. According to AoE Nexus, my most played civilization is Turks. So I don't know who's in charge of the whole random civ generator out there. But thanks, I guess.
Yeah. What's your win rate on Turks?
I don't think it's that good.
Oh God, that's holding you back, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good. I don't have elite skirm and I die these days.
Damn it. Yeah. No, it's hard. That's the clear weaknesses we obviously know about the Turks. But on this map, I think the weaknesses are covered a little bit by just how the games tend to play, guys. This is Yucatan. You see the water in the middle of the map as well. That isn't like, there's obviously a lot of holes between the ponds and stuff, but that can be walled up quite easily. I'm not sure what the meta is going into like the early game, but I would probably assume it's going to be some sort of fast castle. What do you think?
Well, that was what I thought going into it, but it's obvious this is a tournament version of Yucatan, so it's a lot more open. Original Yucatan would have one wood line that would wall off half your base.
True.
Sure, Yo could wall himself in pretty easily here, but he would also wall out his stone, right? So he'd have to think about that. Honestly, I think Velez's base is way better because he could wall in and take back deer, back berries, back gold, back stone. He actually could take double deer. So I guess I was thinking fast castle here, but I guess we'll see what Yo does because of the stone predicament.
Dude, I have a really weird strategy. I think Yo should sneak a Vil, full wall his base. It's so easy, and just play some sort of sneak. Honestly.
Okay. Go into like sneak archers or something.
Yeah. I rarely suggest this, but I generally think that when you have a map that's this closed, but you have that stone outside your base, you probably I would want to FC Janissary if I had the stone inside, but now I'd probably want to try a sneak to take advantage of my insane map because your opponent can't scout what you have behind it.
Would you do that yourself, or are you just is that your caster brain kicking in where you're starting to think of more possibilities?
I think I would do that if I thought of it, but I don't think I would think of it in the moment. I think I would think fast castle crossbow and play a bit more clean and just from home. But I think that the sneak is the strongest strategy here, if you ask me. Now that I've seen the whole map, but of course, not everyone wants to do that.
I want to see Velez try and steal this boar right now. Come on, go for it.
It's so bad to do it. It's so bad.
I know we should never do that, but
yeah.
There's one player out there. MBL would maybe consider it.
True.
Yo runs into Velez's TC, by the way, slightly, so that hurts. And Velez could actually consider stealing this boar if he were to see it, but he's going to loop to the left. So unfortunate for him. That could have been an easy steal, actually, I think. Maybe not easy. Could be blocked.
Once again, you probably just don't want to take the boar. There's so much food. In my opinion, stealing a boar only matters when the opponent has less food.
Yep.
You having a ton of food doesn't actually help that much, it feels.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the turkey situation. There's a lot underneath the TC for Velez. Yo has scouted the barracks, so good scouting. And Yo is doing the same thing. Is this going to be 2015 Drush FC from both?
It's 2015, dude. Every game in 2015, I remember the Viper versus Jordan in best of 21, or Viper versus someone in best of 21. It's literally FC crossbow every game, and they're just micro and crossbows for 30 minutes while 3TC booming. No one thought to get fast ballistics. No one thought to pressure. That's how it was, man.
Yeah, that or it was scouts, but then make 3 scouts and full wall and go up. So that's definitely how they played.
Super passive. The game has gotten a lot more aggressive. Obviously, granted to balance changes, but also player development and meta shifts definitely is now favoring a lot more crazy approaches in Castle Age. So now we're seeing it was a primo drush from Yo. He's getting his mill down. It's the same situation for Velez, and Velez is not drushing. Nope, he's getting the first militia out now. Oh, he canceled it. Oh my god.
Wait. He canceled his militia.
He made it, then he canceled it.
So
Yeah.
he queued it and then saw that Yo was doing it and decided not to engage, but now he's making it again. Weird.
I guess you want to see if Yo's committing to 3 before doing 3 himself, actually.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know I've heard you say that the 2 militia drush is like the worst strat in the game, so maybe he's heard your tidbits of advice on that.
I'm not sure if I believe that anymore, though. I kind of see some logic behind it. I don't know. What do you think about it? I'm trying to get some opinions, bro. I'm running a survey.
Well, it was on my list to bring up today while casting with you that you said that strategy is like really bad, and I recall you losing in King of the Desert to the guy that kind of started it, Vinchester. So I was like, that was gonna be my question, but I think it really depends, right? And I think that there's arguments to either side of that conversation, right? There's plenty of instances where 2 militia just looks really dumb, but if you're able to take control, if you're able to force reactions, if you're lucky kill a Vil, I think it can be okay.
What I have to do is just, like, whenever there's a strategy like that, I think I have to spam it myself, do, like, 10 games about it, and really just get my own opinion through there. Big engagement. That's definitely a better one for Yo. Yep.
Yeah, I actually felt like Yo is going to lose this hard because there's one militia in there, Hera, just didn't fight the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you, like, do a quick rewind if you want, it just, like, completely got stuck in the middle. Okay. I'm actually going to take a look myself here.
And you're absolutely correct. Villese did win the fight, actually. I thought it looked better for Yo, but...
Dude, it just froze. It's like in the middle, and he was fully surrounded, got fully claustrophobic, and just couldn't handle it.
Couldn't fight,
just gave up.
Yeah.
And that's a tilter there, because I think that fight should have gone better for Yo if that unit engaged.
Because, like, Villese is running into him, right? But you know, it's not going to make that much of a difference. It's going to be FC on both sides. I like how Mr. Yo, I don't know if we've caught up now, he's actually walled ahead of his stone, which is just good foresight, because you never know when you'll need it. Although it is not in his, you know, stone isn't in his immediate strategy right now. He just wants the fast castle. I'm not sure what Villese is doing. Villese wants to go for, is he adding militia? He wants to go men at arms.
I like this, actually. What I don't like is that there's a Jaguar attacking his one militia, so that kind of sucks. But he shouldn't lose it. And I think, like, the way I try and look at situations most times is try and take advantage of your bonuses as fast as possible. And so if you were to go fast castle with Burmese, you're delaying feudal, which delays your free wood upgrade. You're delaying feudal, which delays the extra attack you get on your infantry. Now, if the follow-up's going to be strong enough, I'm not sure. But look at Yo. Yo is not expecting this. Yo doesn't have a scout. And if man-at-arms and scout is there, Yo could lose. Not as many as he would normally, because one militia's weak and the scout's weak, but he could definitely take losses.
Dude, how greedy is it to just go out and take a deer, though? Like, that's so greedy, man.
Oh, but he noticed...
I think he'll make it back. The bumping... Oh, villagers are so stupid, man.
Hey, and now man-at-arms is in. He's got +1 attack. Yo could quick wall this and keep everything out. Oh, God, that lady's not a fan.
Oh, my God. It's a disaster, bro. I think it's still fine, though. Yeah. That looked so messy, though.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Well, the thing is, though, man. I think some of the man-at-arms could take the hill on that house, and then there's going to be an archer soon. So this isn't going to be that easy for Yo. I think he's going to have the tower, and looking at his food count, he won't be able to FC that easily because he doesn't have much on food.
Yeah, I think so the big thing here is, like, they've obviously nerfed, for those who aren't keeping up, they've nerfed the houses. They have now -1 melee armor, so you break through these houses quite fast with the men-at-arms, and especially if you have just 1 or 2 archers to force the repairs away, it's quite strong these days. So I think what I want to see from Yo is continue repairing until he sees the archers, and then back up and then re-defend with archers. He's committing to feudal age, by the way. He got both eco upgrades. He's completely abandoned the fast castle approach. I love that. It's a really good move.
Fletching in already for Villese. And also, if you take a quick look back at home, he's placed 2 mills on the separate areas of Hunt. So,
love it.
I think that's exactly what you would want on Yucatan. And Yo maybe got a little baited by how closed off the map was and just assumed that Villese would let him go fast castle. And this is some high-level pressure here. I mean, with the blacksmith just now casually being built, Villese could break through here or kill villagers in a second.
Yep, and keep in mind that one range is massive. The skirmishers, while it does counter the archers, not in this situation where the archers can attack freely.
Yep.
It does feel like Villese kind of backed up a little early there. I think he could have potentially forced a bit more. He's just turning his attention towards the wood. That's fair play.
Yeah, it's almost like he's expecting he won't do much damage and maybe backed away a little early. Because at the end of the day, I think his eco is going to be looking a little better at home. 500 food already here. Like, he could click up at like 1630 if he really wanted to, I think. But he'd have no farms, which is awkward.
Yeah. No, but you don't even care if you can all in. Like we should see market here, no? Like market sell stone up with this kind of style.
Maybe. Yeah, that I mean,
really
he's got double berries, double hunt, so he doesn't even need to market if he just drops off some res here. And also, if he opens crossbow against Yo, I think Yo's dead as Turks. Turks can never go elite skirm, and if there's a big difference in the castle age time, it rip for the Turks.
So weird though, because I actually was gonna say I preferred Yo's position, but I'm genuinely shocked by how fast Villese's food count is rising.
It's amazing.
Like, it's really rising. That's crazy.
I feel like my instincts would be around like the middle of feudal age here to like get horse collar, mix in some farms, but he just dropped 4 mils on all the food and he's up. That is insane. And Yo can't do that. Yo can take double berries, but Yo can't take any of his hunt.
Yep. And the berries, while it's nice because it's free food, it's not as fast as the hunt, and you're not making use of the map how you'd want to. And now we're seeing horse collar from Villese. So he just
so good.
He's going to be in the same spot as Yo, but he's just going to be faster to cast because he made use of the hunt first.
Yeah, and
I
honestly,
want to see him all in it though. Or do you want to see a boom? Maybe a boom is better.
I think as long as he doesn't lose his archers, I think you could do so much damage with crossbow, where you could just go 3 TCs. But I guess like. He's bringing the villager forward. Maybe he's concerned about the lack of flexibility in the long term for Burmese. Because I think Hussar and Cav Archer is devastating for the Burmese. I don't know if they have a lot to deal with that.
You kind of have like because Burmese have to play like Cav Skirm probably versus that, and that's just not very good because of the lack of armor. So that's the big issue with Burmese. They have a really smooth early game. He obviously got the wood upgrade for free. We'll get the second one for free. Now thinking about a push, he thought of a stable there. He's getting the armor upgrade for the stable. I do like that in theory. Probably want to see a siege workshop as well as Yo re-walls that hole. Pretty good.
Yeah. Interesting how it looked like Villese was going to commit to crossbow siege, but now he's added a stable at home and a stable forward. So I guess my concerns for Villese is 2 stables. Oh wait, I'm sorry, he canceled the stable in the middle. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, 1 stable's fine then.
Yeah. But I would almost prefer 2 stables. But I'm not sure. Oh, he can't afford it because of that whole transition to farms as we talked about. Yeah. That's actually smart from Villese. He went through the same thought process like, yo, 2 stables is sick here, but wait, I can't afford it. So
I'm a greedy guy, but I would have loved to see the second farm upgrade since your wood upgrade's free. Just like get ahead with the farming eco, but I think it's probably... If that delays crossbow or your knights or your siege workshop or anything, it's probably not a good play.
Yeah, I would like it if he's just planning to boom with crossbow, which would be a fair approach, don't get me wrong. But if you're going to push, definitely just commit to that one here.
Yeah.
We see the Magano not coming out. We see 1 or 2 knights coming out, crossbow, and is there Botkin in? Botkin not in just yet. There it is. Just click. 35 seconds to go.
Yo's got 8 army, 6 of which he cannot upgrade to elite skirm. So it's just like the worst feeling ever. And not only can you not defend yourself as easily, but you also can't even counterattack with it. I mean, not that you would counterattack with 6 skirms in the first place, but it just, he's stuck. And while normally, you know, you're being stuck in a corner or walled into an arena would make you feel nice and safe, it is the opposite, I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's like his position is actually really good if Villese didn't have all that hunt to be this fast with his push. Because, like, normally they'd get the cast at similar times going through this this approach, but with the deer, it completely shifted it, and I'm pretty sure Yo was surprised as well, and not really sure what exactly happened there, but we saw exactly what happened. Now we see the Magnos pushing in onto the range. 3 range defense and a siege workshop from Yo. Does he go Cav Archers here? It looks like it's going to be Cav Archers. What do you think of that one?
I think he needs something that is really going to work in the long term. If he were to try and go archers right now, he's only got 2. It wouldn't work out too well. I don't know if it's going to work. And I love the nifty move there to fake Villese like he was going to go and pick off reinforcements. But he's going to really need to use his siege here. If he can use his siege to pick off the crossbows and siege from Villese, his Cav Archers can take off the knights. But it's not quite as bad as the Nomad game earlier, but this is a must-do for Yo. Otherwise, he's dead.
And the thing is, so Defender's advantage with Manganos is pretty big because you can see your opponent's mangonels. They can't always see yours. So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
big advantage when it comes to like defending in the situation. But keep in mind that Velez has a lot of army, and he sees the mangonel now. Big shot maybe.
Ooh, Yo got one, and Velez misses. An opportunity for Yo, and
One.
what?
Oh.
He'll get it. He'll get it with the CA, surely.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah,
There
he
you
got it. Good. 1 for 1 there. I mean, it's still okay for Yo though, and he's gonna go counterattack with these cow
Wow.
wasting no time.
Yeah, yeah, that's sick, man. I mean, he has bloodlines, and now suddenly Velez is looking at this army, and he doesn't think it's good enough, and he's clicked Elite Skirm. So he's got 3 town
my
centers, so his eco
God.
is better, but clicking Elite Skirm with Burmese is one of the worst feelings.
Dude, it's so bad to scale. It's so bad because you're doing nothing with that once light cap come out.
Yep.
And that's how I personally choose to think of these games. Like I'm always trying to think of like, you know, the next step. And it's not good for Yo because he's down, like we said, a lot of economy now. But it's definitely the best situation I would have expected to come out from here.
Yeah,
You're
right.
building that third range now and a TC on the front here.
Did Velez over or under commit to this? It's really hard for me to know because I like the 3 TCs at home, but it feels like it was a big commitment. Siege Workshop, stable, all the crossbows, all the upgrades for the units, and now it's just all withering away.
You know what it is? He didn't have enough crossbows. I think you need to have like 20 crossbows to the point where Yo has to respect you at all times, but he just doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And he never had that. So I felt like maybe the Knights was a bit too much. I feel like maybe the Knights were not the right choice.
Yeah, maybe just
go
crossbow mangonel and
Yeah.
just save some of the food for some of your eco, but I still am very impressed with Yo. It looked like he would be in big trouble. He responded. He'll get the second town center up. He'll get a big shot there as well. 1 for 1.
Yeah.
He'll take it, and he is forward. So Velez has to respect the Cav Archer presence there.
And the problem is, yeah, Velez actually had a hole. I didn't mention it because I didn't think it would actually matter. And he's walling it up now, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. A Monastery in the center, T9. Like, we just have to put the relics in the middle. It just has to happen every game.
Well, the thing here is, I think he's doing it because Knights would be a good option for Yo, but Yo, he comes out without any Knight support against the Elite Skirms. They still do the bonus damage, Hera, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Cav Archers down. If he's got 2 or 3 monks to babysit, it might not actually end up being too bad for Velez.
Okay, so at this point, what I would say, the right call here for Yo is probably just to go 3 TC boom, wait, defend with mangonels, and then switch to light cap as soon as possible.
Yeah.
He doesn't know redemption's coming in, but that's a really big game changer because that makes mangonel defense a lot worse.
Yeah, and Yo is hoping that he can defend with his own siege. He's like, I can defend with siege and use the Cav Archers elsewhere, but the second redemption's in, the monks don't even have sanctity though. So I mean, the monks would just die so fast. And wow, Cav Archer conversion there, and 1 for 1 with the mangonel.
Okay.
This is okay for Velez for the time being. I'm just a little worried about that monk because that's the only guy that can really convert siege at the moment. And he's got 30 HP. He just gets sneezed on and he dies.
Yeah, but by the way, I was gonna say, like, this whole like no sanctity thing, that's new. Back in the day, you don't show your face with redemption before sanctity. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
don't
burger and
get it.
fries.
It's been bothering me so much the last
Yeah.
month. Like I talked to Nilly about it. Nilly, like the guy had 4 monks. I'm like, get sanctity. He's like, no. I'm like, why? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So it's especially with Burmese because the big reason he was able to get redemption is because the monk techs are 50% off. So if you're not making a monk, I would be getting it, but obviously they've got a million other things to focus on, and that's probably the big reason why we're not seeing it right now.
Oh my god, dude, Yo is sneaking a forward siege workshop? You want to push? That's so crazy.
And that monk, dude, I'm telling you, that monk, that no sanctity monk is so important here, because here comes Yo with the siege. He could one-shot the monk if he sees it's no sanctity, but it gets converted.
He just respected it because he thinks that there's sanctity. You just walk up and shoot him there.
Oh, man.
That's so crazy. Oh,
Hard to
God.
know as
And
well,
now the
'cause-
repairs?
Oh, the repairs were clutch, too. But the monk,
Dude.
the monk
Oh.
pays the price.
Yep. Someone had to die for that. It was just
Yeah.
it was just way too good for Velez. But listen, he gets the mangonel. Not only does Yo not have it, but now Velez has it on the hill. Yo should just abandon that town center. No, like why are you repairing it so hard? I think
Well,
you just give it up.
There's no Repairville, right? So there's no Repairville, and the 1 is very weak. So if he can get that, which he doesn't get.
Oh my god. Big shots though from the hills. Cav archers are taking good damage. That one dies. Got sneezed on, as we said.
Yeah, well done. And oh man, there's more siege on the other side. What's about to happen here? This is insane. Yo's micro! Yo with the plays! Oh my god, he could get 4!
But he lost the cav archers on the top. It's not worth.
No, it's not.
This is good for Villese.
The Vil count could change a little bit because of the TC is being attacked by Villese, but Villese just adds a monk there.
Yep.
And
Redemption is
well
game
played.
changer, bro. Game changer.
Oh, and more skirms pop out of the range as well. Villese with the swings. It was a little rough after his initial push against Yo. It didn't work out, but it's been looking really good ever since.
Yeah, we did talk about that 3TC. That was the big point of the game here, where Villese kind of gave up a little bit of momentum early game, but now it's paid off. Now he's got a 15 villager lead, and although he doesn't have the greatest late game versus Turks, he's definitely very far ahead. Forward castle looks like, oh my god, forward castle on the hill would be fantastic. Right in between those two TCs. Do you see that spot?
Yep.
Great.
And he's got, if he's got the monks, which have sanctity now, siege isn't a worry for him. And Yo has had to focus so much on his micro. He has never really been able to get the food economy rolling to get a lot of light cav and to get a lot of upgrades. So I think the castle would definitely work out here for Villese.
Yeah. And I want to see, whenever you go for a forward castle, guys, go for a lot of those. I almost think that 9 is not enough. It's just risky. Like, send like literally 15 just to make sure you get it up. It's not worth committing halfway to it.
Oh my god, did you see that play from Yo? He just used the light cav to snipe a monk.
That was crazy. That was crazy. And he even shot with the Manganos first to make the scrims go back. That was just insane. Villese is in the middle of the map, man. He is flustered.
Yeah, and he's got 1,200 stone. So he's like, he's on the fence of what he should do here. I think he, at the very least, make a defensive castle. That's my outlook at this point. Just get castles somewhere with something. But maybe he's hoping to win a fight soon. And after he wins the fight, he'll still continue to go forward with one.
Surely you need 2 forward castles. So just get one at home, chill, and then look for forward. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me, honestly. And I think that should be the line of action. Not for Villese. He's going to go forward. He wants the forward one first by the looks of things, and he's placing it. Oh, no, one at home first, as you said. Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
right after he clears that. There's also a lot of gold there, so that makes sense. And now he goes for the one on the front, but immediately deletes it because light cav arrive. It's only 3 light cav, but the siege will be taken out, and Yo's going to want to drop one here.
Oh my god, Yo gets it in the same spot. Will it go down? No, it's fine. It's fine. I always worry when there's Manganos close by.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and say goodbye to your skirms and crossbows if you're Villese. I mean, Villese still really extended his lead over the last couple minutes, so he's the heavy favorite to win this game. He's about to go in, but Yo has hung on here. He's not rolled over and died. He's still got a chance. If this goes really late, I prefer Turks.
You absolutely, and I said this in the Jordan game that I saw the other day, you absolutely go all in castlage if you're in Turk's position right now. Your light cav are good versus even Arbless, but in this case, there's no Arbless. So you just go light cav, and you go cav archers, and you go all in castle to buy yourself time. You can't race into imp. I just don't know if Yo's going to think of that right now.
Well, I guess it's awkward too, right? Because he knows there's a castle. He's going to deny this castle. This is certainly an invitation to make a little more. Yep. Just to keep the keep any castle pressure or tread pressure away from your castle. There's a potential for him to do both, like maybe click up and then just continue to spam light cav. We haven't actually seen any extra barracks for Villese, or at least pikemen. He's actually making more crossbows right now.
No, man.
Why?
No.
Why? Okay,
Yeah,
there's pikemen.
I mean, but why make more crossbows? Like, is his idea to go crossbow to get the position for a forward castle?
I think that might be it. And I think, like, instinctively, he's like, I'm heavy skirm, and I have upgrades on ranged units, so let's make something that's better against light cav. But Turk light cav, Yo just attack rounded his own units.
But Yo's like a hill thief. Like, he's literally getting every hill Villese wants. And remember when Villese was just sitting in the middle of the map doing nothing with 10 vills? Literally, that's the difference between winning and losing the game. Not saying he's going to lose it, but just saying he could have won it with that forward castle. Now it's a lot more complicated.
And Turks can go bombard cannon too. So if Yo makes a siege workshop, he will go instant bombard cannon to snipe any trebuchets Villese would go for. Villese could go bomber cannons as well, but that is locked behind the chemistry research. So Yo should still win this game, in my opinion. Or, sorry, Villese should. But I'm really worried that Yo is going to be able to make this happen.
Yeah, so it's definitely. Oh God, what do you even make as Burmese here? What do you even make?
I would go Hell Bomber Cannon is what I would do, and then you have to push these castles. But if he makes another crossbow, I might scream. So just a heads up.
Yeah, there's just way too many crossbows on my screen for my taste, man.
Well, he stopped making them. He's made a couple pikes. He also will have 2 trebs before Yo will have 1 bomber cannon. So that's a start. Yo is gonna dock.
Oh.
Yo is gonna dock and go for. Oh my God, dude! Elite Cannon Galleon, or sorry, just Cannon Galleon is an epic play here.
He's thinking about it. There's another dock where it could be good actually, but there's block printing for the monks. The monks should be good against the cannon galleon, but man, is it interesting.
Wow, that's funny. I would like to see him just make the docks so Villese trebs the docks instead of the castle. Well, it's too close, and he needs to get repair villagers here. The concern for Yo is the timing and the fact that he doesn't have a lot of stone banked up to repair in the first place.
I think what Siege Engineer is a big tech for Burmese. What you should do right now as the Turk player is you defend with bombard cannons, and if you need time, you sacrifice Hussar just to snipe some siege here.
Yeah, true.
And the Hussar gonna be vital against the monks as well. So it's gonna be Halberdier, Monk, Treb as the push for Villese, and it's gonna be bombard cannon defense for the time being for Yo. Very interesting game though so far.
Love the masonry tech here. Villese also very focused. You can tell. I think this is a slight overboom. 145 villagers. If he's like me, he's queuing up vills as all this is happening. He might lack top space for army in theory as he loses a treb. But he still should take out this castle, I think. Yo's going to lose this hill. And if you don't have the castle, the monks can move forward confidently to convert those bomber cannons.
Do you prioritize the +2 range on the cannons, artillery, the unique tech from Turks? Do you prioritize that here?
I would not. I would just have full queue of Hussar, and I'd just be microing. I wouldn't do that, but I think it would make sense here.
Well, that makes 2 of us. I would also have the Hussar queue.
Yeah.
Because I think like the angle should be to actually win the fight because you have the better comp, right?
Correct.
And then, yeah.
Look at the bomber cannons there. Big shot on the crossbows. It's honestly just to clear out space so the Hussars and the Cav Archers can get to the monks. And Yo pushes right through. Yo's
the score lead.
Yo's gonna take the trebs out. The monks are all gone. We see fervor. What is that gonna mean? The monks run faster to their death here? Oh my God. How has Yo done this?
And this is exactly the moment he was waiting for.
Yeah.
Like, Villese has 147 vills. He had the push, but he had no units. Now we're seeing the unique tech mana for cavalry gives extra damage for the cavalier and the light cav against archers. Gonna be good against cav archers, but I think the big thing here is the composition is so much more complete for Yo. Yo with the forward castle here. Maybe a bit ambitious though.
Well, he does have cannons and trebs. So I mean, we saw Yo play some pretty funny castles in this series, like that one where he's like losing his main base in game 1 and he just drops a forward one anyways.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think like, with this castle protecting him, monks can never convert his bomber cannons, and then he can always push Vilese's castle. I don't see, I mean, I have a pretty heavy bias against Burmese because I think they're really awkward at this stage, but I don't see how Villese can win this game from here.
Like, the problem with Burmese is that your units, no matter which way you look, your best units are weaker than Turks. Like, you go Hussar, but, like, Turks have better Hussar. You go, you know, Skirms, they're not very good. So, your options are very limited. And you can see that Villese doesn't really know what to do here. It's very awkward, and he is even struggling.
Yeah, and I think maybe we even saw that before Imp era. Like, the castle positions were fine for the Trebor, but there was no heavy commitment to one thing in particular. He has a lot of economy, but for Yo, his economy is actually, I think, more in line with what he can make. Also, Hussar for Yo on this random gold. This is a Yo thing for you. It's in the north of the map where a castle's going up, but Villese knows if he loses this castle, he loses the game. I would say that's a heavy mix of Villese maybe not knowing what to do with the Civ, maybe not following through and executing, and then also great comeback from Yo because it looked disastrous for him. He was 30 vills behind. His opponent was on the way to Imp. He pulled the rabbit out of the hat there. That was sick.
Have to win in Castle Age. He had such a big window, and it's almost inexcusable at this level of play to have that forward position that Villese had for so long and then not like really hammer through those hills that he had at the front of the base.
Yeah.
he really, it's not that he undercommitted because he committed, but he just didn't like get there. Like he was just doing nothing. It sounds harsh to say, but
I would like to see. I
you
mean,
know,
easy to say after the fact,
yeah.
but there was a point where it was just a few light cav and cav archers from Yo. I feel like pikemen with your siege, just pike siege, just flooding in castle and dropping the forward castle, completely pushes Yo back. It frees up space for yourself to do whatever you want, but kind of backing off and going imp, and certainly mixing in as many skirmishers and crossbows as he did, just looked quite bad there for Velez. That's got to be really frustrating for him right now.
Yeah, if there's ever a tilting situation in a tournament is when when you're already behind and you lose a game you should have won.
Yep.
That's like it's gonna take a lot of mental fortitude from Velez to really come back and clear, just come in clear for the next game. He still has a chance. He needs to win the next 4 in a row. Big task, but we've seen it done many times, in this tournament. So we'll see.
Yo has lost one game of his last 9 played, if you think about it, because he
True.
won the last 4 in his reverse sweep semifinal, and now he's won 4 and lost 1 in the grand final. So Yo is just playing like a beast right now, looking really, really strong.
I think after talking to Mr. Yo, he was this mystery figure for me for a while because I never really got to speak to him. But after speaking to him in the past couple of years, I know that he's very laid back kind of guy. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah.
There's no ego on him, which is pretty. But he's confident. He's confident, but there's no ego on him, which is
Yep.
it's really refreshing to see.
Yeah, I think he beat Viper in something, and someone asked him. I don't know if I interviewed him. God, it's been so many interviews over the years, but I think someone asked him like, "Are you the best in the world?" After like winning a tournament, he goes, "No."
Straight up, like
no.
a lot of other players would be like, "Yeah, I just won a tournament, so
Yeah.
you tell me," but he just like, "Nah, I'm not."
No.
Crazy stuff, and I like that. I think that's yeah, it's not something I can say about myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm the best. Say something, bro. You can't beat me, but
Well, Yo had his moment. I remember 2v2 World Cup or some or no. It was actually like Clan Masters or some big team game. So it was like, "Yo, who's the champion of the world?" And it wasn't about him. It was about his country. He was like SY or like, China. That was a cool moment. But
that's sick.
yeah, you got to find
the
that,
scene.
man.
That's sick,
He
though.
was screaming full of passion. Love to see it, man.
That was
But
a LAN event, eh? Pretty
yeah,
sick.
it was, I think, 2015. God, man. It's been a lot of them. But Velez opens up game 5 or 6, excuse me, needs the victory, Hera, and already has stolen a little pig there. So he trying to get an edge early here.
Yeah. Little pig is opposed to the big boar. You gotta make that distinction sometimes. Yo might take it back though here. By the way, I actually really enjoyed this map as well. It's Frisia. For those who don't know, it's a bit of a, we haven't seen it too much, but there's a lot of marsh around the map, but there's also some water. There's some deep sea fish at the back and in the corners kind of thing. So docking is definitely very prevalent, but in the mid game, who knows how much you commit to water and how much you commit to land. It's kind of up in the air. Depends on the situation. But here I see Portuguese, Japanese T90. Looks more like a water approach from both players on paper.
Yeah, so all I've seen as Yo almost runs into the TC and dodges every arrow. All I have seen is Dock and Dark H for both, and then Barracks archer range. So the only separation there would be, do you go man-at-arm archers, which is kind of hard to pull off with the timing, or do you just go archers? And then if we're talking these civs for Portuguese, anything they spend gold on is cheaper. And then Japanese have the cheaper lumber camps, which Velez needs to actually build. He's got the cheaper lumber camps, and then also has the cheaper mining camps with the strong fish.
Dude, that's it's not a huge deal, but that's just, you never want to see that. Lost maybe 30 wood from that, and that's the difference in a dock up. I just want to point that out. Small things that they add up. Yo's been known to delay his docks on these hybrid maps throughout the series, actually, which is interesting.
I wonder if we'll see a forward villager here to like deny the dock. I kind of doubt it. The other thing, Hera, that I've seen be a big talking point is the hunt, because you're gonna have most of your villagers on wood and gold, so you can go water and archers, and then the food underneath your TC is gone, and so getting a mill up on the hunt is always important. And so I think the positioning for both players is pretty good there. It's not like it's right in the front of their base. It's kind of off to the side.
I just don't know at what time you take the hunt. Like, you take the hunt when you lose water, or like you're still on the water, you start taking the hunts?
More mid-feudal, but like I saw a game where a leftover militia killed that. You know, like that is a big deal. So I'll be keeping an eye on it, and also keeping an eye on Yo's villager, because I think he might kill the hunt actually.
Wow, yeah, going forward, just that hunt. And we see Yo docking on that left-hand side, Velez docking on the right-hand side. So they're kind of docking opposite, which is that favors more land play if you think about it. If there's ever a reason to go land. Of course, the players don't know that right now. And yeah, that's all the deer going down right now.
Wow. Now Velez did steal quite a few pigs from Yo. Yo is almost out of his boar underneath his TC, so he's got to actually push that in. I think that was some recognition from Yo that he's behind and wanted to make sure that Velez wouldn't get too far ahead. But by the time mid-feudal arrives, that is all going to be gone. So that is not an option for Velez. Great thinking there from Yo.
And there's a cost to this though, and it has to be mentioned that the idle time from Yo, that's maybe 30, 40, maybe 50 resources that's gone to do this lame. So it really is a trade-off with immediate resources that Vil can gather versus that long-term resources that you're denying from Velez, the natural resources there on the map. So I always like to see these decisions being made in tournaments because it is a trade-off, and it's hard to say whether it's worth it or not. We'll have to wait and see to know for sure here.
Yeah, this is crazy though. 7 pigs underneath the TC for Velez. There's not a single one for Yo. Like he got lamed hard, but then also he has 2 pigs in the center that he didn't find. So I think he's down 4. Actually, no, on the right of his wood line, he's also down 2.
Oh my god!
So I think he's down like 6 or like every single additional pig that he would have needed.
And that's a big deal. He's actually luring the deer just to get by here. I thought maybe he's considering a fast castle, but he was just trying to get by.
Yeah.
He does now have it, though.
That's honestly so sick. That he could click up after losing all of that and sending the villager forward is really well done from Yo. I think being behind even a minute here could possibly kill you on Frisia, so impressive.
Yeah, it's not like Arabia where you can just play defensively and wall up. Like, if you're losing, you can't defend your fish with walls, right? So
yeah.
The timing on these hybrid maps is just so big. Oh, the trap on the scout.
No way.
Wow.
Yo is locked in right now. My goodness. Like this best of 9 grand final could be shorter than the semifinal where he had to reverse sweep and go to the final game because of how he's playing this. My goodness.
Really nice position there against the barracks now. That scout going down, that means that there's no information that Villese is getting, and he's now going for men-at-arms. And we talked about this earlier. Men-at-arms without a scout is not the most scary strategy, but we are seeing the forward from Villese. 4 vills moving forward here. I hate the strategy on this map. I think it's just so risky to do this.
Is it also I just lamed some pigs and I'm down 4-1 and low on confidence? Is that it? Like,
is it a low confidence? Maybe, but it is also a Japanese move though. Like,
I also just had like a memory pop into my head.
Yeah.
Do you remember that show match against Yo? Like, I don't know, 2 years ago. It was like 3-0 or 4-0 for Yo because he went Japanese tower rush on you. I don't know if you blocked it out of your mind, but it has worked before. It just hit me.
This map?
It just hit me. Yeah, dude. I swear it might have even been on Voobly. Honestly.
That's too far back for me to remember. I'm not
I'll
sure.
Find it. I'll find it tonight.
I'll take your word for it, man.
Yeah, I'll find it tonight. But that's a good tower there, isn't it? I think it denies the only lumber camp for Yo, and he doesn't see it either.
Yeah. That's not bad. So in this case, whenever you see this tower go up, you have to make the decision: do you counter tower or do you run? When it's 4 builds, you probably have to run here. Now we're seeing the blacksmith come down. Yo is making archers, which is the right response, of course, versus the men-at-arms. And he's gonna probably abandon this woodline. He's gonna do it slowly though. Notice he pulls only half at first.
True.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting little detail here too is that Yo didn't make a fire galley yet. So we have a fire galley on the way for Villese. And I'm liking the start for Villese because we know he's got the food underneath his TC. And then he's got the fish that are already pretty tanky with his civilization. So skip the man-at-arm upgrade, which is fascinating. But if he could snag a couple fishing ships on top of all this, I think he'll love it.
Yeah, and so the big thing here is that Villese is kind of pressuring on all fronts. So he's going for like water, he's also going for the tower rush, and he's also going for the men-at-arms. But he's not massing a ranged unit. Like, he doesn't even have a range at home. He does have 2 docks. So that's the big difference. That over time on land, Yo will be stronger, but Villese has a chance to win the water here and just like kind of make the game very messy.
Yeah, I don't know if in the earlier rounds of Resurgence this was a thing, but I have never seen this. I've seen 1 dock into a range. I've never seen 2 docks like this. So he's going to have to be walled. And I guess in theory, if he's got enough Navy, he will stop the archers from passing over. But it always feels like that's a little unrealistic. It feels like a couple archers are going to make it over there regardless.
Yeah. If your plan is to control the shore with water, you need a lot of ships, and it's just not worth it. Yeah. And I would never want to rely on that. Like, I think the big reason why walls are so good is how reliable they are. Once you get them up, you know that you're safe, and you at least have that timing where you can react if something comes your way here.
Yeah, so Yo just spotted it. He just saw the second dock and walls. I think he must be feeling like, okay, this is my time. I got to try and do something with these archers. There's a tower from Villese. If you're going to commit to this strat, if you're going to do this, I like how Villese is doing it because he's walling up towards docks and then he's towering the stone and could maybe even go for more towers.
Yeah,
But-
and I'm not seeing Yo is like really committing to water on one dock, and he is Portuguese, so his ships are actually stronger on paper.
Yeah.
In equal numbers, of course. I'm not sure if you add another dock here, or if you just commit to more land pressure. Les did catch the archers moving forward, though.
Yeah, what do you think about the archers chasing the militia there? I would have preferred to just see the archers run across here instead of waiting around.
I definitely try to look for some damage, because you know you're on the kind of, not a timer, but you're not going to be able to find damage forever. The walls will come up, so I think you rush over there, if you ask me.
Well, I guess if you send enough, it's going to be okay, because Yo's going to send villagers and send the archers.
Did lose a scout, though. Very sloppy there. But obviously a lot going on at the back of his base
water,
as well.
yeah.
It's easy for me to say it, yeah. Villagers attacking the fire galley. That's interesting. One goes down.
Yeah, kills the fire galley, though. I would say you just YOLO this. Yo, just run across. And don't
Walk,
tower
yeah.
there, dude.
No, he wants the gold, I guess.
Yeah, but like...
no, that's demo territory.
That's hot,
too.
yeah. And fire galleys
True.
would hit that too. So, okay, he
Yeah.
thinks twice, but I think it's been pretty sloppy for Yo. Running into the fire, losing the scout. This is all due to the pressure from Villese, but we also have to say the fish are still alive for Yo somehow against 2 docks.
Yeah. It's that Portuguese bonus, and like just defending is so good with water in general. When you get that repair down, you don't have to walk across the map. But Villese is fine. Like, he's getting horse collar now. He's in a good position. He didn't get to make use of the hunt like Yo did. But he did have the Japanese fishing ships, and he does have now a fully walled base. So I think he's gonna be okay for the time being.
So something that you didn't patent, that's a strong word, but something that you did in recent history with a lot of these hybrid maps is you kind of let the fishing ships work for you for a time, but you never commit fully on the fish and you switch into the horse collar upgrade. Do you like that approach here for Villese? Because he's got a horse collar. You probably would prefer he has a few more farms, but that seems to be his choice.
I think like the whole discussion of switching off of water, it just depends on the map. But on a map like this, like look at Villese's situation. He has like 4 fish in the back, and then that's it. So
yeah,
definitely. And fishing ships are really not an option in pro games with the tempo. They're more like a win more situation, but you can't rely on them. So definitely switching farms at some point is a really good move. But right now what I'm thinking is Yo might get up to Castle Age faster. He's got more food. It's creeping up there. He's got more farms even. And he's going to go for a castle drop. I think that's the angle that he's going to take with Portuguese here.
Also, Yo's tower vills are repairing his fire ship in the back here, which is hilarious.
Oh, God. That's so annoying, bro. He was getting repaired at home, and now at Villese's base, he's also repairing. Villese is there with the village as well.
And it's 2 vills versus
Crazy
1.
stuff.
So 2 vills might actually make the difference. Plus, the archers are going to focus down the repair vill. Yo, you're an animal. What is happening?
Back to, oh, my God.
What?
He's keeping both alive.
What?
Villese runs back with the villager, though. This is crazy.
What? And he's sacrificing a lot to kill the villager there. Maybe too much. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Yeah,
Oh,
that got really messy really fast. But
Yeah.
at the same time, the fire galleys are going down, so Yo will win the water engagement in trade for all his land army. Tower behind Villese's base will force a counter tower on the wood line.
Yo also still keeping his fish alive in the back. He hasn't lost a single fish. It's very close. And he just towered behind the wood line from Villese. Yo's crazy, man. Yo's crazy.
Get it, bro.
Unbelievable. Villese is not having a bad game here. How does Yo still have his fish? And how is Yo on the way to Castle Age faster?
I just realized I didn't know this, but Portuguese fishing ships have more HP. I didn't know that, actually.
I totally knew that. Definitely.
Yeah, no one ever talks about that. 66 HP, man. What the hell?
I
That's
definitely
news.
knew that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're insane with the game knowledge for sure, bro. That's crazy.
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, he can definitely hold water and maybe even win water. Even though he's got fewer water units, he's able to make this happen. I'm so, like, I probably am sounding like a big fanboy already, but I'm like trying to hold myself back from being more of a Yo fanboy right now. This is just incredible.
Tower behind the wood line. Now Velez breaks the house to counter tower. Did he even see that one? Yeah, I guess he just barely saw it there.
You can always rush that with Vils, I think.
Yeah, I maybe you do a mix of both. I think the counter tower just in case there's any army nearby. But you probably want to rush that with Vils just to get it out of the way fast. The big thing though is going to be the forward castle T90. Like imagine a forward castle, like you get control of the water and then you forward castle right outside his gold. Like Velez's gold. That's a huge position and you can fit it.
Is the position good enough where you could just go for water upgrades and make a defensive castle? Because I feel like organ guns and fish boom isn't the worst thing ever. I'm just curious.
I think it's fine to do that, but I don't think that's Yo style, honestly.
Yeah, true.
I think in a tournament, you want to take some risk, and I think that taking a risk in this case, that's a good risk to take. Like your opponent can't stop the castle, so you make it hard for your opponent, and it's not exactly a game-losing play for you if
These
it goes a bit
Vils,
wrong.
man, the tower Vils repairing again, and he's getting his upgrades. I don't know if you caught it, but there was a demo there, and Yo just immediately starts repairing with these Vils.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy.
This is insane.
And he's forcing Velez back in a point where Velez should have the defend disadvantage and should win the fight.
Yep.
Left hand side as well, we have Yo with the fire ship now. He's got the upgrade down. Fire galleys actually do really well against fire ships, by the way. Thought I'd point that out.
Especially with some repairs. Good work from Velez. Yo pulling back. His villagers seem to be heading towards the castle, so he's not helping with repairs there anymore. But that tells us he's shifting his focus. And he did not place the castle as forward as maybe we would have thought, but I like that castle because it allows him to control the waterway. And it secures the gold, and right behind that is the gold for Velez.
Yeah, this is more like the defensive castle you were talking about. Like that's a pretty defensive castle. Maybe a little bit in the middle. I don't mind it. I think it does open up that organ gun push. He's winning the game in some ways, so it's not a bad approach at all.
Yeah, he really tried to snipe fish though. And credit to Velez, he hadn't lost any fishing ships, to my knowledge. And Yo's coming in with a demo in the north. This will be fun. Also,
I actually hate the stable choice from Velez. Why would you go knights in this case with Japanese?
ooh, is Yo gonna try and demo the ships, or is he gonna demo the fish? Should go for the ships, I think.
Yeah, goes for the ship. It just gets one. It's not a big deal. Fire ships eat through fishing ships, by the way. These are Japanese fishing ships, and they're going down like crazy. Yeah, those guys are insane.
Yeah, and I mean, Velez is scrambling. He knows the castle's up because his dock is getting shot down. He now knows he needs to move gold, so he's going to drop the TC. Yo has outposts over there. Look at Yo's vision for just a second. He knows, right? So he's probably going to mass some organs and think about the next castle.
And he is mining stone. That's a big tell, by the way. Whenever you see someone still on stone after they got a castle, you have to think, why is that? It's not for Townsend, it's for another castle, you know? So 8 on stone.
I do like
that's a good play.
I do like the Knight Edition, considering Yo's castle isn't in his base, because 1 or 2 knights can do a great job at picking off Vils. Yo does have a monk to get the relic, though. I'll be curious to see if he notices the knights there. Certainly has the opportunity, and yeah, instantly reacts.
Wow, crazy.
Oh my god,
my
he gets the
god,
conversion,
dude.
and then he's also already pushing in through to that gold.
Wow. And Yo is going for that forward gold. Like, this is super risky. He's
Yeah.
just nonchalantly going for that forward gold after seeing the knights.
Yeah.
Ballsy.
Like, whatever. Let me just drop off this relic real quick, and that'll help you out again, villagers.
Yeah.
He's out of stone, too. He needs to buy 100 stone for the next castle. Which would probably be amazing at home at this point. But he's focused on the organ gun micro, and I'm not seeing a long-term game plan right now for Velez. I'm a little worried about him if he doesn't kill fish and if he doesn't kill villagers. Here he goes, Hera. 2 knights going in for a monk. And good opportunity here. That should be a kill. Great micro there from Velez. He could just hit that gold that's on the front right now. It would be so good for him.
Yeah, and I think so. Yo is like saving resources, but like fast time should not be on the cards. I think he really needs to start spending his resources, make more organ guns, and really commit to this forward castle. Stay in castle age. I don't think you need to rush the fast imp, but maybe is he going for the fast imp? I can't tell.
Honestly, if you're gonna fast imp, sell your stone and buy food or something. But then a second castle would be nice. He's actually picking off fishing ships though in the north there. He just killed 2 or 3. And there he is buying food.
Wow, he wants to fast tip double forward castle, dude.
Wow.
That's such an aggressive strat. Like that's so like it's almost like risky, but it's so winning. Like if he just gets it, it's so winning.
Yeah, and also I've seen games where players add TCs on this map. There's limited space. I don't feel like 3 TCs works that well because you would need a lot of farms to go up to imp behind that. And there he goes. He's on his way. And then we have redemption for Villese. I think that's actually a good choice here because you kind of have to go for something against the organ guns, but it never feels strong to have to go redemption with monks against this unit.
Yeah. I feel like the problem with the redemption is that the organs are not expensive like Seajar. Like they're pretty expensive, but it's not quite like a Mangonel. So 1-for-1ing with a monk is not like the insane trade that you normally feel when you go redemption with Mangonels. Like that's my take on it at least, but it is something, as you said. Villese has 25 elite, it seems. I don't know if it's enough, though. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and we know Yo's going to drop a Faitoria or two, right? And so that's going to give him a bit of eco. There's lots of debate on, if that's good. But I think with Portuguese, with a faster imp, you almost have to do it. And, okay, big moment here. Yo, he's not even sending that many vills, but he is bringing villagers forward. He wants to drop a castle right on that gold. Can Villese stop this? He's got a few monks, he's got a knight, and he's got 1 Mangonel.
And this castle's not that forward. And I think that... Oh, he makes it a little bit more forward. I think I like the other one better.
He deleted it. Oh, my God.
He deleted it, thank God.
Oh, God, dude.
Mine. Like, not this, man. Not this.
And that's just a target for any trebs that Yo might make. If Villese is going to make that one.
Yeah. Oh, God. It almost doesn't solve the problem. He gets pushed off that front gold, and he's just going to get trapped, as you said.
Yeah.
And organs are nasty, guys. They're really strong as a unit here. They don't take any upgrades as well. Like, they barely take upgrades. So, you just make it. It's a good unit. And you get to invest your resources on other things like fast imp in this case. And Yo is getting so much food from like 8 farmers, by the way. He's not spending a penny of that food.
Yeah. And I think Villese, he already has been looking a little helpless because, the knights and then the monks. He's like, not sure what to do. Doesn't have a ton of water. He's going to see imp. He obviously knows the score line, but when trebs start to come out, all of his TCs are going to go down. His castles are going to go down. 78 economy for Villese. He can't do anything with it.
Yep. The funny part is, like, this strategy is, like, the fast imp is so scary with the forward castle. It wouldn't be nearly as good if there wasn't that forward castle, because then you can actually play with units and you can fight it. But now, there's almost no chance to snipe trebs under a castle. And those trebs can reach the castle, both town centers, both towers, and, like, all the houses. So it's devastating. It really is devastating.
Yo has made this look really easy. Again, reminder, in the semifinal, he was down 3-0, and he won 4-3 in the end versus ACCM. If you did not see that set, watch it. The games were awesome. And ever since, man, he's been looking good. And Villese is going to continue to hang on here. He's hoping he can somehow pull this back. The population's similar, Hera, but I feel like in like 3 minutes, the population is going to look very different.
Yeah. And the big thing is, sniping town centers will actually potentially prevent Villese from going up to imp.
True.
He is clicking it from his main town center, and that is literally a treb away if Yo wants to go for that. So that's something to think about in the next 2 minutes. Villese has to hold, but no bombard cannons. Like, what do you do? Monks and then trebs yourself, but you're not gonna have castles. I don't know what to do here if I'm Japanese, honestly.
Yeah, I've received a few nasty texts from Spirit of the Law for saying this, but like Japanese just feels so useless past 20 minutes for me.
Yeah,
it just not having bombard cannons or siege ramp just leads to so many struggles in these matchups, and their early flexibility. Yeah, and their early flexibility is what really makes them strong. Their fish, their mining camps, their mills, whatever. That time's passed now. It is time for Portuguese. I agree that Villese should be repairing this castle to delay the inevitable, but I don't know what he's going to make. To me, it looks like he's committing more to monks here. He's got more monasteries in the north.
But monks will convert the organs, which is good. But how do you kill the trebs ever?
Yeah,
like, literally ever. It's and there's a treb on that main town center. I don't think there's enough time for that to go down. But like, man, that's gotta be scary.
Be super close. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat scary.
Yeah,
repairs
I think
are
with some
down.
repairs, he's okay. He's being a little casual about it.
Yeah, and obviously Yo doesn't know that's the Imperial HTC, guys. So.
Yeah, so he'll just take his time.
Yeah.
It's more important to take out the castle and you don't need to commit. If you start dive bombing TCs and then the opponent has a castle to actually do something, it could be really frustrating later on.
Yeah. And so now bombard cannons are coming out from Yo. Those are actually not the best unit versus the monks in theory, but like, bro, monks alone should not be enough. And the problem with the monks, and as you said, Vittoria from Yo, that's like he loves that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's made 3 of them, and I think what you can do as he's getting arquebus, which means his bombard cannons are now affected by ballistics. What you can do with all the food income from the Fetorias, because you haven't been spending food for a while, is either sell it for more gold, or you can make light cav against the monks. So it actually kind of works out here. Yo has a plan. Look at the outpost on the right, Hera. He doesn't need this right now. He has this game won. He's checking everywhere. He is on point.
It's such a good habit to get in. It's gonna prevent you from throwing games by doing these little things like outposting, taking extra resources, making sure your opponent isn't being sneaky. And now we're seeing the monks, guys. While they're good at getting some conversions, they're not enough to push back or to scare Yo from pushing forward. And it's simply not enough here. Yo continues to barge into Veleze's base, and he's taking everything with him.
Yeah, Velez getting his gold upgrade, his wood upgrade. I mean, I don't see those being moves that can really bring it back for him. And while the population is inflated for Yo because the Fetorias take up 20 pop space, he's got way more effective pop anyways. The villagers for Velez have nowhere to go. He's going to have to start making transport ships at this point.
And then...
Oh, goodness.
Oh, another castle. This is like last game of the tournament, and you don't want to resign, but it's rough, man.
Yeah, he's trying his best. He did convert 2 knights, and he's converting organs, but he still has no way to get the siege. Yo could obviously always make more. He has a tech switch on the cards too if he were to want to. And
bro, how is Yo losing Nomad and winning 5-1? Like, how is Nomad the only map that he loses? That's literally his best map from what I can tell.
With Spanish as well, yeah.
Yeah.
The only game he lost in a while. The Vils are now rushing. Velez. Okay, the monks are actually converting a lot more than I expected, to be honest.
They're sick.
Yeah, the organ guns are slowly disappearing. So maybe there is a chance. Okay, backing away. Good work. And now you see Yo getting forging. So Yo's like, okay, we gotta be done with these organs. He's making Feitoria number 5, man.
That's insane. And by the way, like, I always see this argument that people try to math out the Feitoria. I think that's incorrect. I don't think it's a math problem. It's a practicality solution. Like, you don't need to put your villagers on resources. You just put down the Feitoria. It's less efficient than villagers, sure, but it's infinite, you know? That's so good. People don't factor that in when they're crunching the numbers around Feitoria oftentimes.
Yeah, I think the only thing about Feitoria that bothers me is when players go above 4. Like, then I start to worry. And right now, Yo is going to 6.
That's
so
a lot of pop space.
120 pop space taken up by Feitorias. And he's got 55 villagers. So that's math. He's got like 30 pop, 40-ish pop, 35 to play around with military. And that's not a lot. Like, he could throw this game if he doesn't have the pop space to finish it. Look, he's about to lose his castle. Velez is still in this game.
I think the big issue is like but maybe Velez can go Navy and kind of stall it out into some weird Navy kind of situation and like control the game that way.
I don't know.
There's an angle if you can get the gold for that.
Like, I'm looking at what Velez is up to. Velez is going pikeman, Hera. So if he goes pikeman monk and even just has 30 military of his own and pushes back these castles, he's still alive. He's still alive. I think Yo should have finished this game by now, but he's lost a lot of organ guns. He now doesn't have the pop space. What is happening?
This is so troll. Yo can lose, actually.
Yeah, Yo can actually throw this. Like, he's making backup castles in his base. He's not even trying to farm either. He's just trying to... Oh, he's getting heresy. That's actually a really
heresy's
good choice.
Big though, actually. True. Yeah, heresy's pretty big. Like, he should be fine, but his units are all of a sudden really bad because there's going to be pikes on the field. And then monks, like, that's pretty good.
And he's almost pop capped too. Like, he's almost pop capped. But what he did do is he got all the attack upgrades, which I really like.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance that he clears up this area before pikemen show up. Here come the light cav.
Oh, true. There's only 3 pikemen on the field. There's a lot of monks though. Let's see the conversions. There's heresy in, so the conversions aren't going to be nearly as powerful, by the way. big like have, and that should be enough, I believe.
Yeah, and that's gonna mean the monks are
Yeah.
gone. The castle does go down. It wouldn't surprise me at all though if Yo just makes a new one there. And the Lycav and the organs and the bomber cannon can take all these trebs. And Villese, great job from him to take out 3 castles, or maybe it was 2 castles over the last couple minutes. But now as the trebs go down, he's got to be feeling blue again. This is still looking rough.
Yep. Oh my god, those traps sniped a lot of shit before they went down though. Like there's a bomber cannon going down, a couple organs. Always nice to see that. A lot of stone for Villese. Like in theory, you could castle up and just wait, but look at the resources from Yo. Like they're flying up, honestly.
Would you go Cavalier for Yo? Because it
no,
is cheaper.
Monks.
Okay. Well, no, you have Heresy now, so they die, right?
Nah, you just go Arblast though. Like Arblast is just the winning move for sure.
It's just funny because he's only got like 35 pop space to play around with, and he's making light cav.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't feel like it's the strongest unit. He's actually thinking about switching into Navy.
Yeah. I think that's actually the best way to play. If you're not in a rush, like ships just feel like so oppressive now. If you can get Galleon and Cannon Galleon, that's insane.
Yeah, and for Villese, I forgot to check to see if he has any relics. He actually doesn't have a single relic.
He's got 2 outside his monastery though. Not gonna take those.
Oh, true. You know what happened is he tried to eject monks, I bet.
Oh, true.
And he pressed ungarrison. I wish they would change that personally. Like, if you press ungarrison, usually you don't want to do it with the relics, but I suppose I understand it, and he hasn't realized that yet.
That's pretty big. Like, you're losing 2 relics. That's probably like 400 gold that he lost just from that mistake. But nothing you can dwell on now. Yo, with the Galleon switch, like, he's almost playing this as if he doesn't mind playing another hour today.
I know.
Like, he's so fine. Like, now he's forcing Villese into fast fires when the base is wide open. Like, it's crazy to me.
It's funny. Like, I definitely think is overkill, this many Fatorias. And we have seen games, I think Vinchester was the best example. I forget which tournament. Where
Red Bull.
over Fatoriaing killed him. Actually, in Wandering Warriors Cup against Dowd as well. In Golden Hill, he like took the hill, and then he also went for 5 Fatorias, and Dowd killed him with like Hussar or something. So
my man.
so like it does give me a little bit of caster PTSD when I watch this stuff, but
yeah, I don't think I made a Fatoria in my life actually. I think I made a couple, but it's really not something I play around with too much to know like the sweet spot. But it makes a lot of sense when you tell me like 4. That's like 80 pop.
Yeah,
plus
that's
like
fine.
50 vills, like that makes a lot of sense.
If you're gonna go for this many Fatorias, don't have 55 vills.
Yeah.
You know, then have like 20 vills. But I think there's a danger to that, of course. It's funny though. Yo is gonna lose this castle, right? He had lost one here earlier. The stone just continues to trickle. So in his mind, losing a castle isn't really that big a deal. He could just build one later.
It feels like Villese is fighting a timer. Like, can he kill the castles before Yo can get back to stone? And it's just like, I don't think Villese is killing them fast enough. And Villese always has to invest stone that he's mining, stone that runs out. Fatoria is such an OP concept, in my opinion. Like, just infinite resources is crazy.
Yeah, you have fast fires, though, for Villese, and he's on the Galleons, and he's going to clean up all the Galleons there for Yo. And Yo, trying his best to still take out this castle, will maybe need to switch into some fires or demos or something, because the fast fire ships could be awkward. And yeah, he just builds another castle here. He's like, whatever, who cares?
And why is he forcing organ guns? Like, your opponent has monks, just go Arbalest. If you just go Arbalest Ram, and your opponent can't do anything, like, he's really... playing his way.
As far as I know, there's like another, and there's the GG from Villese. Yeah. I think they have like another set to play at some point. So like maybe Yo is just like trying to dominate him as much as possible before Villese finally bends the knee. Yeah. But man, I mean, I gotta hand it to Yo. There were many situations throughout this this best of 9 where Yo fell off and fell behind. Like here, Hera, the lane was the best example. He lost like five or 6 sheep, came back home, pushed all of his deer, ended up shooting down the hunt, which I think was a really big deal for Villese. Somehow got to Castle Age, somehow just made everything look easy. I know there were instances, in particular the Burmese Turks one is going to stand out for Villese, but there were instances where Villese would get ahead, but Yo always just made the game look easy, like he had a game plan, like he knew what he needed to do.
Yep. Yeah, congratulations to Mr. Yo, takes the finals 5-1. I still think Villese is the big winner for the tournament. Something we didn't talk about yet. He gets an invitation to the Red Bull Wololo Legacy, I think they're calling it, the big Red Bull tournament coming up in October. So that's actually huge for Velez.
Yeah.
Congrats to him for that.
Yeah, and small clarification there. The reason Yo doesn't get the invites because he already had the invite before, being a previous Red Bull winner. So going into this, the highest performer would get an invite. Yo was already invited, so now Velez does get that. So beating Jordan in his 4-3 set semifinal was a big deal. Speaking of Jordan, as this is the conclusion of the Resurgence, thanks to him. He's been doing a lot for the game, obviously playing the game, but also organized and hosted this, and did a really great job at that. So I think combining playing and I know you've done it, Hera, playing and casting your own event is really tiring and exhausting, and it takes a little bit more out of you. And so the fact that he was able to take Velez to the final game yesterday was really sick stuff from him. Yeah.
Congrats to the winners, both of them here. Shout out to Jordan, and also shout out to Microsoft for hosting this event. I really like this event because of the Civ settings. I think it had some really cool things that it showcased, and just being able to see the players just kind of duke it out with different maps, different civilizations. It's been a pleasure to watch. I casted a lot of this tournament and watched a good amount as well, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah, just really solid tournament overall. The Resurgence. Would like to see another edition down the line for sure.
Yeah, good stuff, man. And thanks for messaging me yesterday. I enjoyed casting with you today. Got to joke around a little bit about winged hussars and stuff like that.
True.
Games
you
were good,
right
though.
in that one, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's been a pleasure, bro. I actually came to the conclusion that casting alone is so much more boring than casting with someone else. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking for some co-casters a lot these days.
I guess it depends, right? I enjoy a mix of both, but I totally understand that. So you get like different ideas that come in, bounce off of your outlook. It's especially good when you don't agree with your caster all the time, like your co-caster, which we had some differing opinions here or there. That's always good because as much as casters may sound like they know what they're talking about sometimes, it doesn't mean they're right. Everything depends, and it goes all over the place in Age. So
and the last thing I'll say, I just feel like in a lot of cases there's different options. Like it's a strategy game. There's not really one correct approach. It's just having that conversation that happens throughout the game. I just find it's really healthy. But thanks for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man. And I'll see you around. All right.
Yeah, sounds good, bro. Take it easy.
Yep. See ya. Alrighty, so as we go back into the game, I want to just show you some of the stats. Thank you to everyone who watched this video and watched the stream and all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. We didn't do the thank yous for you guys because you guys are a given, man. Anytime there's an event, anytime I'm casting, you guys seem to show up. It means a lot that you do that, so thank you. What was Yo doing with 6 Fatorias, man? Like, 6 Fatorias is insane. And so I was a little concerned he's going to throw that one, but also I was like half hoping he was going to throw that one so we could get one more game. Wasn't to be. Yo, the worthy champion. Good stuff. Now, I wanted to check. How many pigs did he lose? I think he lost 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Velez didn't see those. Okay. But okay, so that is actually 7 pigs that he has not taken then. Did he get a single additional pig this entire game? That is insane. I don't think he did. He might have taken it a bit later, but he was down 700 food. And he had the knowledge to realize I need to take out his food because he's going to be way ahead, and somehow managed that. That was ridiculous. I think how Yo kept his fish alive and balanced everything in this game was arguably the most impressive thing from the whole series. And that's saying something because he played amazing. So, whew.